into a long speech about what they are and what they've accomplished, I just have an ask for the audience today, and that is that we have everybody here, from investors to corporate bodies to other startups to ecosystem influencers. As you listen to the startups talk about their solutions, don't just look at it from the cap that you're wearing, the cap you're invited as, right? I am Miriam, I work with Mest, I'm an investor, I'm an empowerer. That's, all of those are titles, right? Think about it also as a user, right? Because these guys are building solutions that can really change the way Nigerians think about health, the way they think about business, the way they think about technology, right? So yes, we want your money, please invest, but also think about anybody you know that also needs this solution, right? One of the solutions, for instance, is setting out to reduce needless death in hospitals, right? Just by very, very simple, the things that almost everybody that goes to the hospital has an IV injection, right? Everybody has drips. These are basic things that lead to countless deaths, right? You know people that do this. You know people that use this. So think about the solutions also as a user. Who can you help? Who can this solution help, right? And just make a note. After the program, we're going to have opportunities for you to talk to the startups individually. Just make a note. Any program, any solution that resonates with you personally, make a note to go say hi to the startup and learn more about it. Fair? That said, I just wanted to say again, guys, I'm super proud of you. Right?
I just get goosebumps. I love the energy. We come in for so many different programs that we're launching, and so I'm really excited to see that we're actually bringing together all of the startups who've taken a chance on us for the FbStart Accelerator program, because this was a first-time initiative here in Nigeria. You didn't know what you probably were getting yourselves into, so it was definitely a pretty big chance on all of us, and I'm very happy to see that we're able to make this happen and actually bring some serious businesses and investors together who also believe in this as well. So about 2 years ago, a group of us sat in a room, and we were starting to really think about what the NG Hub could actually, this is before it was even an NG Hub, there was no name for it. We knew that we wanted to sort of invest in a physical space in Nigeria and invest in programs and partnerships that could really help to drive the Nigerian economy forward. And so it took a series of conversations and meetings and whiteboards and plenty of caffeine as well, because there was a lot of thinking and late nights to really think about how can we really make a true long-term sort of investment in helping to drive and grow the local economy here in Nigeria. And the NG Hub was just a piece of that. So we wanted to create a physical space where communities could come together, startups, entrepreneurs, small business owners, creatives, students, educators, come together to kind of have a space, a physical space, where we can come together, collaborate, learn, meet each other, network, and really just see what kind of magic could sort of happen out of that. So NG Hub became a thing physically. And one of the first programs that we were able to launch, as you know, is the FbStart Accelerator program. So I know Kendra took a massive tour around Nigeria, going to various universities across the country to talk about this really wild idea that Facebook had to invest in startups, to say, come and be a part of this, apply to this program that no one's ever heard of. And I think luckily what we ended up with is 15 amazing teams who, as I said, took your chance on us to come and spend 6 months with us in our hub. And I hope that you're pleased. I hope it wasn't a waste of time. I would hope that it wasn't. Good, because you're still here. But obviously it was a successful program, enough for us to continue this work over periods of time. But the beautiful thing is that at the cusp of all of what we're doing is that we're celebrating innovation. You know, we're celebrating limitless thinkers, the people who are fearless, who know the power of tech to actually make an impact in their communities. And these are the types of people that make up Facebook. That's Kendra, that's Chimdi, that's Nathan in the back who works with us as well. The people who make up our organization are those who don't think around boundaries, who know that everything is completely limitless. Facebook itself as a platform never existed before. So we want to surround ourselves with individuals and future thinkers who aren't afraid to do those same things, and knowing that in the process a lot of beautiful, magical things could happen. So things like Say Peace, you know, an AI tool that's actually going to be able to try to track hate speech before it actually happens. Or platforms like FbStart, who are looking to kind of predict and look at sort of disease, different healthcare things to prevent disease before it actually happens. Like, that's knowing the power of tech to actually make actual change is what we want to continue to support. So I want to say finally, before I take up too much of your time, thank you again for taking your time with us and believing in us as well. Know that to whom much is given, much is expected. So as you leave, you're not leaving us. You will always be a part of the Facebook community, always be a face of NG Hub. The work also doesn't end today. It only continues. So what we expect is nothing less than excellence, nothing less than to continue to push the boundaries and expect nothing more than the best from yourselves and others in your communities, because we rely on you to make this work happen. I think as Facebook, we're here to support and create the spaces to do that work, but you guys are the geniuses in the room. So thank you again, and I'm looking forward to hearing your pitches and seeing what comes next. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Before I bring up Damilola Taidi of CC Hub, please know that we have Wi-Fi. For those who haven't come to NG Hub before, the username is FbGuest, and the password is MoveFast. But the O is a 0. So it's not an O, it's a 0. Please note. Thank you. Oh, yes. And you can find it across the room in case you forget it. So please, to continue the conversations, please welcome on stage Damilola Taidi, the Director of Incubation at CC Hub.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It's been an emotional 6 months, like Kendra mentioned, but it's been an incredible journey. And it speaks to these types of partnerships that are intentional in what they want to do, partnerships where the partners are focused on a particular goal, which is to support the ecosystem, but not just with talks, but with action as well. Sorry about that. Okay. So not just with talks, but with action as well. And not just, supporting startups or in areas where everyone is supporting startups, but also in areas that, that is tied to the future. Deep technology, supporting student teams as well, people who are doing research, which is very important, supporting experimentation, building a community that even startups who are building within deep technology can also find support. So it's more than the FbStart program itself, it's also the community programs that we're building around it as well. And if we had any doubts, for any reason at the beginning, those doubts were cleared at different points in time. When we went across 13 universities to meet with students, with startups, just having that conversation, if we had even ended at those roadshows, it would have been incredible. The impact would have been incredible. The doubts were cleared when a few days ago, my colleague Francis, was invited for a meetup on mixed reality that one of the students started, a student that we met months ago who hadn't even started a meetup like that. Of almost 200 people were going to attend that meetup, and he was inspired by just the roadshow. Or the doubts were cleared when we had, we went through the entire 6 months with the startups and with the student teams, but also when we hosted the Innovation Showcase Week, and we had corporate executives, top corporate executives, almost 200 of them, just talking about how impactful the solutions are when they try to test some of the solutions, getting their companies involved and even using the solutions. It was just amazing. And to see all of that happen, we were just so proud of every startup, every entrepreneur, and please just give yourselves a round of applause. The reason we can continue to do this, it's not everyone is taking a bet. And if we're able to do this again, then it's because you showed us that it's possible. And I want you to be proud of that as the first cohort. And I'm just grateful to everyone who is here, grateful to all the partners that we've worked with. I'm grateful to all the industry advisors as well, because without any of these people, this also wouldn't have been possible. Grateful to Facebook for putting in everything into this, all their resources, human, financial, everything into making it work. And also grateful to my colleagues as well who have worked with you throughout the 6 months. And I hope that you have a fantastic time today. I hope that for the investors and corporate partners here, that you at least, I know you can get 100% of the excitement that we felt over the last 6 months, but if you get like 50%, trust me, you'll be very excited to invest or to partner with them, and I hope you have a good time. So thank you so much for coming, and let's have a great time today.
Thank you so much, Dami. And now, the time is here. Today, you're going to be witnessing 15 pitches from the FbStart Accelerator. We're going to have them in 2 batches. We're going to have a first batch of 8 startups, and then we'll go for a 10-minute break, and afterwards, we would have the second batch of 7 startups. It's also important to note that to give you the full experience, such that you don't just get limited to just the 5-minute pitch, such that you don't get limited to the 5-minute speech, what we're also doing is there's going to be a mini exhibition afterwards. And in the mini exhibition, you'll be able to interact directly with the solutions that they have built and that they will be pitching. The very first team that I'll be bringing up today is Lara.ng. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you very much. In many developing cities of the world, navigating via public transit could feel very much like the movie Jumanji, as most of us here might have experienced from time to time. Asking strangers might be some of our very first resort. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get good directions, sometimes you're not. My name is Samuel Deloy. I'm the founder and CEO of Road Technologies, and at its core, we're building solutions that empower people living in developing cities do 3 core things: plan, commute, and connect better in your trips. Just to give us a better context on the problem we're trying to solve, here's the story of Aminu. Aminu is a young graduate from the University of Maiduguri. For those of you who don't know, that's somewhere up in the north. He's been posted here down to the south for the very first time. Aminu has lived, he's 24 years old. He's never left the north in his entire life. So as you can imagine, Aminu here is super nervous. Sometimes also excited about what's expected on the journey ahead, but he's feeling unsafe as to the journey that's ahead of him. The silly thing is this: in Nigeria and similar other African countries, about 80% of the population rely on public transit as the primary means of getting from point A to point B. Either to get to like job access or it's like public services. Many of these commuters are without access to accurate and safe ways of actually getting public transit directions. In Lagos alone, about 5,000 migrants every hour come into the city. Think about that: 5,000 migrants like Aminu, who actually have no way of actually getting from A to B. If you think about it for 1 minute again there, another problem with migrants who also face when they come into cities like this, they also have to face issues like language, and also think about security and getting into cities. But what if there was a solution? Someone which you could ask for a friend, ask for directions easily at any point in time, 24/7. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Lara. Lara is a chatbot that provides users with instant and easy to follow public transit directions, fair estimate, and even estimated real-time time to get the Lara is available via www.lara.ng, and you can also download Lara to your phone via the Progressive web app. Just to add, Lara is very well conversed in English, but to add a bit of some local flavor to that, we added some pidgin to that. As you can see, you can say, "I beg Lara, I need directions from ICM to this." But this is where Lara truly shines. Hyper local content. Take a damn food. How much it will cost you? This doesn't exist any other place there. It's also made to solve the other needs of cases of people who actually could use Lara's solution right here. We've added things like Taxify, Uber, for users who also do not want to rely just solely on this. But you might think yourself, is this solution just something applicable just to Lagosians alone? Surprisingly not. It will surprise you to find out 2/3 of the world's population, or world cities rather, are either unmapped or have like no data for public transit. These are cities that are actually very similar to Lagos. In terms of reach and market size, there are about 900 million people across the globe who could actually benefit from a solution like Lara. In terms of the dollar value here, we're looking at a $150 billion market. That's in terms of annual revenues for digital mapping and location-based services. This is a market that actually grows 30% year on year. We think we can actually capture about 2.5% of that market. And this is how we think so. Lara currently today, these are some of our stats right now. It's actually going 35% month to month. In terms of daily return, they were seeing about 60 to 65% daily return usage. Just to give you some other extra insight as to what Lara has done in terms of progress so far. Coming into this program, we came at 86,000 users on the platform. As of today, we actually doubled that number to 150,000. We've launched Lara for Abuja. We've also gone ahead to also acquire more data for one other Nigerian city, which is Kaduna. These are some of the things that's actually helped Lara grow over the years, and even up to now. Network effects, geographic expansion, and key strategic partnerships, like you mentioned, from things like Facebook as well too. And these are things that would also help Lara while she gets into monetization phase. As to how we make money, which is the big question here, via location-based advertisement, I think that's quite very self-explanatory. Users who are thriving within close proximity to storefronts that could take interest of businesses who actually have things that they can benefit from. One thing Lara also does here is rideshare, and it's more like an end and refer partnership program we have there. It's about $250 in which you get 8 a month. And the last is actually an event concierge service in which Lara coordinates. It's simply of actually inviting folks to your events and meetups. I think something really interesting right here is for the location-based advertising business we have right here. Think about that. Small lady right there who actually has a business right 5 minutes away here can actually advertise to users who probably never seen a business before, and just for only $100 every month there. We're actually asking for $500,000 to focus more on expansion into more other cities and to also scale up operations. And this will probably give us like an 18 to 24 month runway. Looking to close that around by Q3 of 2019. And this is some of the awesome things behind the team right now. Myself, Samuel, the other founders who are currently not here. Together combined, we have over a 30-year experience, which are complementary in solving a solution like this. And just before I leave you today, I'd like to implore you to join us in this mission of building a future of intelligent and interconnected mobility services across developing cities. That way we all can truly plan, commit, and connect better in trips. Thank you very much for listening. I'm now open for questions.
Any questions for Lara?
How do you collect your money? What's the payment channel you use? I believe you started generating revenue.
Actually, no. So back to what I'd actually demoed on there. We had all the revenue models actually put around the things we've actually tested in time past, from location-based advertisements to revenues from commissions from rideshare partners. So people actually pay directly to their account. So as you can imagine, someone who needs to show their business to some 50,000 people moving on Macaulay Way every day. So it's more like a direct transfer into the account right there. But
what channels are you on? I think I've used Lara.ng actually.
Yeah.
But it's on web. It's not on WhatsApp.
Yeah. So initially we actually started Lara on WhatsApp, and if you think about it, it was more for accessibility. Your grandma is probably on WhatsApp, your security guys are on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a very great communication tool and people actually get from. And if you think about the way in which the solution is being solved today, when I need to get directions, I would ask a friend, or ask on WhatsApp, or ask on Twitter. So WhatsApp was the first channel we actually started off on. But as of the time, as we all know, the APIs are not really open on that. So we took Lara over to Messenger as well too. With some great traction there, but not as great as when we actually had Lara on the web. And the beauty of what we actually did is we think about the solution we're trying to solve here. Lara as of today is about 145 kilobytes, which means it's really super data light and accessible to the kind of target users who could actually benefit from this. Like I said, as of today, we're over 150,000 users so far on the platform already, and we're going about 30% month to month. Yeah. Any other questions? All right.
Well done, Samuel.
Thank you very much.
So very quickly, it looks to me like this is Google Maps supported by a chatbot.
Oh, so I'll speak to that effect.
And I'm just wondering, what if Google Maps become accessible via SMS or via WhatsApp or with a chatbot? How do you build a moat around your business model? That's one. The second question is, I'm not sure, maybe I missed it, but what valuation are we looking at here?
I see. All right, so to your first question you actually had asked there, I'll give you a bit of some context as to the mobility industry as well. So the likes of Google, Apple Maps, and whatnot, traditionally they rely on data agencies who actually provide public transit information. Google doesn't actually go out in the street there to find out some of this information right there. It relies on local agencies, like I said already. This is something that's more or less like the key moat there. We actually go out there, we crowdsource this information, we verify, and then we build for each city there. This information doesn't exist, and we think about it. In developed world, a metro line could have its schedules and whatnot, and likes of developers or city planners can tap into things like this. But when you come into developing cities, this information exists in nowhere head but the heads of the downfall drivers or people actually commuting from A to B. So that's on one end. So it's kind of hard in a way. I kind of see more as a complementary services for like the likes of Google and whatnot. That's one of the revenue channels I didn't talk about here, but it's a potential way to actually license to the likes of people like that. If you look at the likes of Moveit currently right now, it's probably like one of the world's largest data center, public transit data center for the developed world. Just had some partnership with Azure Maps. So things like that, the traditional incumbents in these spaces wouldn't go out there too. So, because it's not just all about just acquiring the data, it's also about maintaining this data. Prices change, locations could also change. And then to the other question you actually talked about, I'm currently looking at about some $5 million evaluation right now. $5 million? Yeah. So,
well done, Samuel. Maybe confused. I still haven't, I can't place my fingers on what the value proposition is. That's one. And looking at, is it a solution for today or is it a solution for tomorrow? Because is it a solution for today or is for the future? Because when you look at our public transportation system, public transportation system, if I need to use Uber, right, how is this going to help me? I see Taxify and Uber there. So I can understand clearly what the value proposition is. And that also goes back to the question about what he said about where is the monetization. Those two things are not really clear.
Yeah,
now.
I got the second question, but could you take the first again?
So the first one is, what is really the value proposition? How is Lara going to help me today?
I see. So as I said, as of today, that's what I started opening with. If you were to get from point A to point B in many developing countries, say like Lagos now, your first solution, there's ask strangers there for directions. There isn't any sort of repository for public transit directions. You literally have to ask, so think about it. If you need to get from here to somewhere in Shibiri, Badagry, you either call a friend or ask someone. There isn't like, not the government, not even your Google Maps or whatnot there. So, and part of the reason why this is because, like I said, there isn't any repository, not even the government itself that actually has data that's actually been maintained over time. So we sort of act as an agency for this, and at the same time also providing the solutions for users. As of today, like I said, we have over 150,000 people who are actually using Lara, who have used Lara so far. On a day-to-day basis, we're seeing about 65% daily return rate. So that means if I have like 1,000 people coming today, but tomorrow we're actually having like 600 to 60 people coming back every day. But to what I said before earlier to how we make money, one of the things we talked about is location-based advertisement there. As you can imagine, users who are driving within close proximity could actually get ads, visual ads that are of interest to them. For many businesses here, driving more foot traffic to the storefront increases revenue for them. So it's more like you win, I win situation there. Thank you.
Thank you. A huge round of applause for Lara.ng, please. And up next, we have DeepQuest AI.
Artificial intelligence is the foundation for the next industrial revolution. In more developed countries of the world, AI has been successfully applied to create amazing solutions that are highly disruptive in healthcare, in transportation, in home security, and industrial automation. My name is John Olafenwa. I'm the CTO of DeepQuest AI, and we build AI solutions that enables any organization in the world build AI smart solutions with AI. In the world today, only about 4% of organizations worldwide have successfully invested in and deployed AI solutions. While statistics show that 81% of organizations have huge interest in deploying AI, but they don't have the means to do so. This is because existing solutions are too complex for them to use. Developing AI in-house currently is a big pain for most organizations because the real talents that can do this are very few and are very expensive to hire, out of the reach of most organizations. Current solutions that try to alleviate this problem make use of cloud APIs, which are very expensive to use and always causes privacy issues when you have to send all your private information to the cloud all the time. To solve this problem, we've developed DeepStack, an AI platform that enables any developer using any program language, any framework, any software system to easily integrate AI into various solutions. DeepStack works with all of the existing systems, software and hardware systems that various organizations use today, including providing APIs such as object detection for security and surveillance, face recognition for identity management, as well as custom AI APIs for industrial and home automation. DeepStack works in very few lines of code, and any organization with any technical, any developer can easily leverage this to be able to build either products or solutions for their own purpose or for the general populace. DeepStack is very unique because it works completely offline, unlike existing solutions that require people to always connect to the internet permanently to use AI. It's very easy to set up, and because it works offline, it cuts down 99% of the cost involved in deploying AI as of today. We made a benchmark against Google Vision API, which is one of the most popular computer vision APIs that is used in the world today. Running a CCTV surveillance camera for a whole month period, a single camera, augmenting it with AI is going to cost over $2,500 on Google Vision Cloud. But with DeepStack, running a whole of 10 CCTV cameras for a whole month period is going to cost just a $69 monthly subscription while performing the same level of AI augmentation. Now, I want you to just look at this and imagine if you want to run 10 cameras with Google Vision Cloud, it's going to cost over $25,000 for a single month period. That is incredibly insane and out of the reach of most organizations. And it explains why many developing countries in Africa and Asia and so many parts of the world have yet to leverage AI in their solutions. We ran a beta of DeepStack in January, a closed beta. We were expecting just about 100 users. But fortunately, we had over 5,000 installs of it. It was integrated into an IoT platform called Home Assistant that is very popularly used in Europe. And we had a lot of very interesting comments and solutions built with it. One of it was an integration that allowed people to easily detect intruders in the home, as well as sign into their homes using face recognition. DeepStack is offered on a monthly subscription fee between $19 to $69 monthly. And it will also offer custom AI APIs and solutions at custom fees for most organizations. We are seeking to raise $500,000 investment, and we are intending to acquire about 20,000 paying customers over the next 12-month period, projecting our revenue to about $1.5 million. We intend to spend this on expanding our technical and marketing team, as well as to be able to build a data cloud to be able to support the ecosystem and enhance the core product itself. My name is John Olafenwa. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of DeepQuest AI. My CEO is Moses, and both of us combined together have developed a lot of AI systems that are used by over 60,000 developers spread across 55 countries from around the world. We are on a mission, a quest, to create the next wave of industrial revolution, where we are going to have cities, homes, industries across Africa, Asia, North America, Europe, all powered by smart solutions built by various people, all on the foundation of DeepStack, the AI platform we've built to empower every single organization in the world to create the future. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I shall now take your questions.
Beautiful presentation. Questions? Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you, sir.
How many paying users do you have today?
We launched commercially about 1 week ago, and we've already had about 2 people paying for it.
How many? 2 people?
Yeah, we launched
Anybody
commercially
trying?
1 week ago.
Anybody on trials? How many people on trials?
Yeah, there are about 5,000 installs of it, covering about over 1,000 people on trial for the beta.
And 2 people are paying for it.
2 people have already paid for it, yes.
Who are these people, if I may ask?
And from the Home Assistant
No,
platform,
what country are they from? Are they from
Europe.
Europe.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, very great presentation.
Thank you.
I just want to understand something. Okay, the competition between Google Vision and DeepQuest. Okay, on pricing. Okay, for you, you are doing air at the edge.
Yes.
And also, you are also doing deep learning too as well.
It's powered by deep learning.
Okay, for data sets. So can you just explain the difference between, like I know the price of of DeepQuest AI is different from Google Vision. Okay. Yeah. So what do you have apart from pricing? What do you have that's different from Google Vision? You know, because I also know that for Google Vision, I don't think this AI at the edge is not included in part of that thing that you mentioned. Okay. So is that the differentiator and the pricing, or what else?
So the core differentiators are first that ours work entirely offline, which means it can be deployed even in facilities in remote areas or in places where privacy is a huge concern. For example, given regulations in Europe such as the GDPR requires that most organizations keep sensitive data on premise. With Google Vision Cloud, you have to connect to the internet for every single request you send. So the fact that ours work entirely offline is a key differentiating factor. Furthermore, many of these APIs are fixed and don't allow people to be able to deploy with their own trained data, which is a core need for most industries trying to do automation. Our own allows you, beyond the built-in AI APIs, you can easily use it to train models on your own data for your own purpose, maybe for health or for any maybe new use case that comes up, and you can deploy that offline.
Isn't that what TensorFlow does?
With TensorFlow, you can only train it, or you can easily deploy it to the edge.
Okay, interesting.
Hello, my name is Moses Olafenwa. I'm the CEO. So to add to what he just said, DeepStack, it works entirely offline, but the good part is that you can deploy it on your own private cloud. So just in case you have like a range of applications that have to connect to a single server, so instead of having it on a separate computer on premise, you can put it on your own private cloud, which ensures you don't have to pay API cost, and as well, I don't have to upload your data to another person's server. So your privacy is still ensured.
For me, all of that those are features. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, which is like it's a trend. Huh? You understand what I'm saying? But it's not. So when you are comparing yourself to Google Vision, I just want to understand the fact that Google Vision doesn't have that. Is not. If you don't compare apples with oranges. That's what I'm trying to explain. Google Vision does a whole lot more than not having air at the edge. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to ask, like, what's your distribution strategy? Like, how do you intend to acquire your customers?
All right, so the core ways, as we've demonstrated in some of the previous open source projects we've worked on, is to build an ecosystem around it by creating online courses for AI that are making use of DeepStack. So a lot of online courses currently are on AI, and people generally, due to the hype of AI, they want to learn how to build AI systems. But some of the courses are using very advanced tools that most people can't use. So we intend to create a lot of courses online on how to create AI solutions, and these courses are going to be making use of DeepStack, so that when the next generation of developers or engineers trying to create AI solutions are going to use that, learning how to do it with DeepStack as well. What? The courses, some of it are already in progress. We've already created a lot of tutorials and a developer center with several documentations and tutorials in different programming languages, which are all online right now, and we're also working on creating more of that.
I have a question.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
What is the metric of the quality of your computer vision APIs, and how does it compare against competitors on that metric?
All right. For the face recognition, for example, our APIs offer about 90% level of accuracy on the benchmarks that we've tested so far internally, and when faces are matched, it offers about a confidence scores over 80%. All right, so for example, Amazon's face recognition API, and even though we've not run thorough evaluation of it, but there are some publicly available evaluations, such as that of recently when it was tested on the faces of members of the US House, and then people realized that most of the parliament members, it's called them like mislabeled them as criminals. Yeah. So most of the face recognition APIs available right now suffer a lot of accuracy problems, but ours is powered by state-of-the-art deep learning methods that are very accurate. No, they are not using OpenCV. They are using a deep metric learning, which is the most advanced technique for face recognition at present.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for DeepQuest AI, please. And next up, we have Team Grid. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, cool. My name is Yotim Oganetega. I'm the founder of Grict. At Grict, we build affordable active cooling cold chain solutions for the last mile. Everyone seated here is a beneficiary of vaccines or has access to some form of temperature-sensitive medication, such as blood, organs. But this is not obtainable in a lot of rural communities across the globe. What's obtainable today is 19.4 million infants do not have access to vaccines, partly due to the fact that there's no efficient last-mile cold chain solution to get it across to them. Similarly, 52% of anemic patients will die if they don't receive blood within 8 hours of arrival. Also, 40% of maternal deaths are due to the fact that they don't receive blood in time. And this is predominant in rural areas because there's no effective last-mile cold chain solution. What's obtainable today in the market is these items are being transported using ice packs or styrofoam boxes and ice packs. Ice naturally melts. Therefore, is unable to hold the cold chain required for the transportation of such items. With global warming, we're also discovering that this method is becoming largely inefficient. Beyond this, there are other issues around this whole sector, such as data generation. So when I'm transporting temperature-sensitive medications, I do not know where it is. It doesn't give me any data that I could use to plan. It doesn't also help me know what the temperature is. So therefore, in transit, it can go above or below the temperature range, making those items lose their potency, and without me knowing. I'd like to introduce to you our solution, called the Fridge Solution. Basically, it's an active cooling smart box, which enables you transport temperature-sensitive items from point A to point B, while providing you data in real time. Some of the features are temperature control. That is, if you're transporting vaccines, for example, you have to store between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So basically what you have to do on the box is just punch in the temperature, and then it maintains that throughout the entire journey. It also gives you a long-lasting battery time of 24 hours, something we hope to improve on to ensure that it's more effective. It also has a long holdover time. The holdover time is a term coined by the WHO that says when your battery or when your active cooling is no longer active, how long does it preserve this? And then we've built our solution to ensure that it provides 4 hours holdover time. And then we're also working on other security measures, such as lead opening detection and combination locks. Like I said, this product provides you data in real time. That is, you can access it through your mobile device. You can know where your item is in real time. You can also know what temperature is being stored at, and the battery capacity and other information. We recently received our patent for such technology and currently working with NOTAP to ensure it's implemented fully in Nigeria. Our business model is pretty simple. We either sell, we lease, or then we have people who subscribe. So beyond sale, if you want to access the data that is being generated by your device, you subscribe to the mobile application or the enterprise, which you could go to your laptop and then access it. Over the past 6 months, we've worked with Nigerian Institute of Medical Research in Yaba here, and then they've been able to carry out an experiment which proved that our product is far superior to what is existent in the market. We're currently working with them to also generate a paper which will be published on the internet to show that these methods are much better. In the last 2 months, which we launched, we've been able to make some sales to veterinary doctors in Ibadan and also the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, where it was deployed to their IVF center for sample collection. Also, to ensure that we serve more clients, we've also partnered with biomovers. So if you're not buying or you're not leasing, then you can also make use of our logistics service without us having to acquire more assets. Why now? There are many reasons. There are financial reasons, but most importantly, the world population is growing. And if global warming is also a threat, that means more people would not get access to vaccines. If it's 19.4 million people today, it might be worse off in the future. But if you're looking for financial reasons, the market is currently 9 billion in Nigeria as it is today. By 2030, it's estimated to be 110 billion at an annual growth rate of 16%. Our market size, well, we are looking at a served addressable market of $50 million over the next 2 years. The market at the moment for logistics in healthcare in Nigeria is about $15 billion. We're looking for $100,000 to help us improve our technology, hire more personnel to help us scale, certifications, asset acquisition, and also customer service and insurance for our leasing model. The wonderful thing about our solution is that it applies to various verticals. FMCG, oil and gas, we're currently in talks with the Department of Petroleum Resources to help them change their policy. So every filling station that is being set up or every gas plant, they collect some samples, bring them to Lagos for test. But the HSC department recently discovered that when I transport these things from Port Harcourt or I bring them to Lagos using the ice pack method, it's inefficient. I cannot test those samples properly. Therefore, we have to use an active cooling method. You also have the arboreal, the veterinary doctors as well, who have actually patronized this solution. We're a team of 4 with 15 years of combined experience. I'm a business developer who has worked in various sectors, oil and gas, agriculture. We have a product lead who is also a HVAC and compression expert, a lead developer, and also an embedded systems engineer who also builds drones. At GRIP, we believe that healthcare access should be fundamental human rights. Join us today as we try to make this happen. Thank you very much. Questions, please.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. I just wanted to check with you, what's your current production capacity? So if you call it asset acquisition, for instance, what's your capacity today? And what do you see that capacity being in 2 years from now?
So one of the things our production capacity today, at the moment, for us to fulfill one order rather, it takes us roughly about a week. Then there are some other components that we also need to import, which also takes some time. But some of the things we're looking at raising funds for is to also get manufacturing agreements with certain individuals who can help us fulfill large demands. We're currently in talks with a lot of donor agencies such as Jupaigo, USAID, who definitely would want large orders, right? And then for our ability to fulfill it is key. So one of the things we're looking at is getting a manufacturing agreement to ensure that we can meet large demands.
And then when you say that you're looking to work with FMCGs, are you looking to work with FMCGs in the area of their CSR related to healthcare, or you're looking now with them in the area of their core product and services?
So it can be both, right? So we can do CSR. So one of the things we're looking at is the primary healthcare board. Most of these hospitals where inoculation takes place, the routine immunization is really poor. So we're looking for individuals who can actually fund the supplies to these locations. But also, when I say FMCGs, I'm talking about organizations such as Coca-Cola, Fan Milk, who their product is experienced at a particular temperature. So if Coke is taken hot, it's not enjoyable, right? And the current methods involve the use of ice packs and styrofoam boxes. So how can we change this and then help them also generate data as regards their marketing and strategy? Any other questions?
Your patent, brilliant idea, but how enforceable is it? Here, how are you going to start going after everybody? Who?
So, like I said, we're currently working with NOTAB.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I was with the national coordinator, and what we're trying to do is to ensure, so there are some policies that exist in Nigeria that ensure that if you have a local patent, Customs ensures that similar products are not brought into the country.
Okay, so you're actually preventing foreigners.
Yeah, so a lot of those things. So especially for startups like us, in order for us to thrive within a country like Nigeria, that organization has been set up for us to leverage on.
Okay, great idea.
Thank you.
Great pitch. How much does it cost to like have this produced, and how many do you have presently? How many folks have used it? Just give us a sense of that.
Okay, so my production cost is roughly about $170. That's about 66,000 naira. I sell at 100,000 naira per unit. At the moment, we've had a couple of individuals make use of it, such as the veterinary doctors in Ibadan, who regularly pick up vaccines from manufacturers and inoculate their animals. We've had, so for example, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, when we actually got to meet them, they were having a particular problem. There was a Lassa fever outbreak in Edo State, and they were collecting samples and bringing it to Lagos. By the time it gets to Lagos, to the lab, they tried to test it, it's lost the story. So eventually, we were able to give them our product, and they were able to collect those samples, bring it to Lagos, and then now they make use of it to collect samples from Jigawa and Benin and Edo State.
So was that on a subscription base, or was it on a rolling basis?
So for Institute of Medical Research, we gave it to them as for trial, right? Because they are an authority, especially within the medical space. But for those who have paid for it at the Kwara Teaching Hospital and then the veterinary doctors, for the subscription base, we've not onboarded clients because we're still testing. So subsequently, by next month, it's something that we should roll out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Francis.
Okay. This way. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Tayo Faswon, co-founder at Quadron XR. Okay, so you might have seen this movie featuring Tom Cruise called The Edge of Tomorrow, in which there was this alien invasion, and in a plot twist in that invasion, right, he got to relive the day before that battle over and over and over again. And this saw him evolve from this guy who had never before seen combat through a series of failures, iterations, and improvements until he became this highly competent super soldier that was the defining quality, the deciding quality, right, in winning that war. Now, what Tom Cruise showed us in that movie was that experience is indeed the best teacher. And the best way to train our people out in the workplace is through repeated exposure to experiential learning systems. But what do we have today? How do we train our people? We essentially deploy slides in classrooms. We have on-site demonstrations in which 10 people observe one person doing the task. Even though it is common knowledge that people forget 75% of what they hear within a week of hearing it. And this might explain why, even though over $65 billion is spent by American companies on safety, 83% of that is spent on compensating failures. And that is why we at Quadron XR have developed experiential learning using virtual reality. Because virtual reality is the only reality in which you may die performing a task, yet live to tell the tale. So how does this work? First, we do a deep dive into the learning needs of the verticals we have identified in order to develop virtual reality training modules which are deployed on our clients' computers. These computers are connected to virtual reality headsets which when their staff wear those headsets, within 10 seconds, they are transported to a virtual replica of their typical work environment, and they are faced with the task to be done. Now, because we have an employee tracking system built within the application, they are able to go through that same process of failure, iteration, and improvement until they achieve mastery of their craft. Right now, people pay top dollar for experience, right? But what they're really paying for, when you think about it, is mastery. And and guess what? In addition to mastery, you're getting mastery faster. You're getting mastery at reduced cost. You're also able to track the employee performance with objective user data. And because all of the senses of the employees are engaged within the virtual environment, you are also going to get faster and better retention of the learning material. So right now, we are in active conversation with a company in the downstream oil and gas sector, as well as the construction sector, where we are building a work at height application for construction workers where we have really high death rates at the moment. When we enter a vertical, what we primarily do is to develop an enterprise product, which is then white labeled in order for it to be deployable to other players within that vertical. And everywhere the human capital is important is where we play, and that scales across construction, oil and gas, manufacturing, even the military, and that's primarily what we do. Considering the size of our market, the human capital development market is growing at a CAGR of 10%, 9.79% every year. And in 2017 alone, globally, over $300 billion was spent training people. We have a combined team of guys who have over 20 years experience with developing and advertising content, 3D animation, safety content development, as well as game development, out in the city of Lagos. And we right now seek an investment of $250,000 to enable, that's at 10% equity. This is to enable us build out other modules for the verticals we have already identified. It will also enable us expand into other territories like the Middle East, where they have a very viral construction industry. We are also looking to embark on an extensive advertising campaign in order to position Quadron XR as the brand of choice, where the AR, VR / experiential experiential training market in sub-Saharan Africa is concerned. Right now, let's face it, guys. They were talking about the fourth industrial revolution. That's no longer in the future. It's now here. And the people who will win in that revolution are those who are able to quickly unlock the potential of their human capital. We at Quadron XR have focused our attention on building the tools with which that potential will be unlocked. Let's do this thing. Let's do it together. Thank you. So I'll invite my co-CEO and the other founders. Let's do, and we'll be glad to take your questions now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. So I think the previous presentation has given me an idea now. Have you patented this? You have to keep patenting things now. Secondly, has anybody done this anywhere else in the world? Because like if you are dealing with IOCs, if you don't have like something protecting you so that you're like a local content solution, you are competing against the whole world, really, basically. And for safety, they do not compromise. They want the best solution. Because like it's something that affects their bottom line in a very, very real way. Okay? So it's more like a comment rather than a question. Okay. Then secondly, in defining, if you keep using the word training, you know, you are putting yourself against the people who you said something which was very, very true. That mastery is actually what people are trying to gain, not, you know, just experience. Okay, so you know the way I'm looking at this as something like mastery of learning through simulation. That's exactly what you're doing. Okay, yes. So if the way you define yourself sets you apart, then also enterprise sales is murder. You know, it's not. You know, for you to actually achieve success there, you need to reposition yourself as a local content provider. Yes. And find ways to prevent others outside, because this is something that anybody else can do from outside. Yes. That's the reality. Yes. And because Daya was asking just now, okay, this is like VR, how are you going to... Good, you're working with Facebook, you have Oculus and all of that, you know, and all of these guys behind you. So, but drag Facebook everywhere and use them to your advantage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If I may just say a little regarding that, concerning specifically with the oil and gas industry, there is this local content law that has been set up, and we are going to be working really closely with existing players in that market to take advantage of those local content laws. Because concerning the oil and gas industry, for instance, there is this local content barrier to entry, wherein nobody, I mean, once we are positioned as the experiential learning providers within Nigeria, we cannot have Pixel VR, for instance, that's based out of USA, coming into Nigeria to deploy the same service to an ExxonMobil. So those are the sort of... Yes, 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 thank you.
Yeah, great pitch as well.
Thank you.
I just want to know more about your team, right? Okay. Like your experience, what you guys have done, and yeah, just give us a sense of how deep your team is in regards to what you guys are trying to do. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. To start with, okay. I've known Uche for over 5 years, and together we have developed several TV commercials. As a matter of fact, we also run an outfit called Quadron Studios that's primarily in the advertising space. I have personally worked for over a year with Wando Marketing, just developing safety training content. And Lukman has developed several games. Lukman, maybe you want to say something about what you do.
I'm a game developer. I've developed several.
Okay, good. Let me get a mic. Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Lukman Agbola, and I'm a game developer, and I've developed a lot of gaming content and a couple of hit games. Yeah.
Well, I'm Semidayo. I don't like microphones. You guys can all hear me, right? I'm a 3D artist, so yeah, a lot of animation, modeling, and those kind of things. So that's how we're going to bring the simulations. I'm also the head of the experience content, so the experience of the whole, going from beginning to end of for the training. So that's what I do. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Vets R.
I've been a vet, and I've played heavily in the livestock industry for 11 years now as a veterinary doctor. 60 to 70% of the distress call I get every single day from farmers is farmers needing my help to help them resolve a particular disease incident or the other. It's a big problem. The average African farmer is losing a lot of money. Now, the loss isn't just the only issue. The public health significance of these disease incidents is also something that is worrisome. Take, for instance, a disease such as brucellosis. When contracted by a pregnant woman, can make her lose her unborn baby. Do you want to talk about the avian influenza pandemic or the Lassa fever that is all around the news? Most of these disease incidents can actually move from animals to human beings. This is a big problem, but as we all know it, with a big problem comes a big opportunity. Most African farmers are unprepared and ill-equipped to handle most of these disease incidents, and that's where vets are coming. We're deploying simple tools in the hands of farmers, veterinarians, and decision makers. For farmer, we're deploying the tools for the farmer to use the mobile application, stock in their daily activities on the farm, including the feed consumption on the farm, the water consumption, the medications, and of course, the farmer could also use the app to quickly, on the spot, take a picture and report a disease incident. And our system helps the farmer connect with the nearest vet. For the vet, the application helps the vet store his clinical files digitally. The norm now is that the vet stores it in paper that are unintelligent, but you could use our app to store your clinical files. More importantly, you could use our app to stock, sell, and also reorder your drugs and vaccines. For the decision makers, our web application helps you integrate data all over Nigeria and give you a single dashboard that helps you make your decision. Our traction so far, we launched about 4 weeks ago, and we've gotten a subscription contract of over $50,000. Within that same period, we're able to sell vaccine worth of $1,500. And then our impact so far, we're able to manage the disease in Kogi State, where we helped over 1,000 farmers save livestock worth $60 million. Now we have enterprise customers currently. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development are going to be onboarding 700 of their doctors using our platform to collect disease all over Nigeria and then get it down into the admin quarters in Abuja. Also, the Nigerian police force have a lot of disease incidents among their security dogs and mounted horses. They are onboarding 70 of their doctors using our platform to also centralize and then organize their disease report for effective and quick decision making. Then also we have the foremost Nigerian Veterinary Research Institute using our platform to do the same. And of course in Lagos we have Truth Miles Animal Hospital using our platform to sell his drug and then his vaccines. We have, our business model is simple, subscription model, and we have 4 subscription plans. What makes us special? We're just like SurveyMonkey, collecting animal health data, making sense of it, and then using that insight to run a distribution network for drugs and vaccine in Africa. So far, we have support from Google and Facebook, and we've been able to raise $270,000 within the last 6 months. The global market of the veterinary drug is huge, with 27 billion as of last year in the world, and then 3.1 billion in Africa. We think the market is set. We're seeking for a 700,000 investment. We've been able to raise 250 of it, and we are investing a lot in our technology, investing a lot also in our management, and of course in building fulfillment centers to run our distribution network. We have a very strong team comprising with a combined experience of 30 years in both the livestock space, technology, and then finance. And VetSAC, I introduced VetSAC to you, being the largest source of actionable data in Africa. At this point, I would like to take your question and your money.
Questions?
Okay, so I see traction a lot. My name is Ifanya. Nice presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
I see traction in reaching enterprise users. I've not yet seen traction in reaching the last mile farmer. That's the man who is taking care of his, how about Buhari's cattle farm or cattle ranch and all those northern ranchers, how do they take care of their cattle? How do livestock people, how are you reaching them? What's your plan?
All right, for traction for farmers, now the farmer is using our app free of charge. But don't forget, we use this insight gotten from farms, how they use the drugs and then the vaccine, meet importers of these drugs and vaccines and run a distribution network to them.
Yeah, but typically in this region, you don't have a lot of educated farmers. So how do you plan to bring this solution to the illiterate farmer or, well, let us say, old farmer?
All right. Now, when we started this a year ago, we thought there's a lot more of the farmers who don't use good phones. But we ran a survey, invited even Fulani farmers, cattle farmers, come into a meeting. 50% of them were using smartphones. So I think it's growing. I want to focus, because the key question is gathering actionable data. And we want to make it real time. So if we move with the people who are having it now, we can grow with more farmers coming in subsequently. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. Great presentation. This is only working right now in Nigeria, right?
Yes, but we have invitation from Kenya.
Okay.
But we're
I was
focusing on
going to ask you,
Nigeria.
because Kenya is actually where...
we have an invitation from Kenya.
Is there anybody else doing it in Kenya right now? Or?
No,
Okay.
not to our knowledge.
Not to your knowledge, okay. So how do you plan to scale to Kenya and all of those other African countries?
Now,
and South Africa in particular, is there anything like this in South Africa?
Now, the largest use of some of these data are international organizations who bring in drugs. Sometimes they don't even know the drugs to bring in. Because you must understand the spread of a disease to know what kind of drug you need to import to combat the disease. Then secondly, government make policies blindly. So our goal is to first of all meet the government parastatals. We have an ongoing daily discussion with the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria to get government people on board. Fortunately for us, we've been able to do that in Nigeria. When going into another country, we meet with the decision makers and the people who are in charge of drugs and vaccines. Once those big heavyweight people come in, it's easier to now use the same technology we've built for Nigeria, just customize it for them and allow them use it.
Okay, that's interesting. So your $270,000, where did you get it from?
Google. 250 from Google, okay. Free equity-free grant from Google, and then 20,000 from
Which of the
Facebook.
programs did you get it from?
Google Impact Challenge.
Impact Challenge, okay,
yes.
Good. Okay, that's interesting. All right, this is very, very interesting. Did you apply for the 20 million one, or what? There's a new 20 million challenge. Okay. Did you apply for that $20 million? Because like this is...
Okay.
So,
no, not to my knowledge.
All right, fine. Keep doing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Kayode.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yes, sir.
And I think you've done something very remarkable. I just want to look at your commercial just a little bit, yeah? You have projections of about $1 million over the next 18 months to December 2020.
Yes.
But when I look at your pricing, can we go back to the pricing slide? I see you have about $33 a year.
Yes.
For a starter package,
yes.
$134 a year for a professional. How are you going to get to $1 million in 18 months when you are charging
that small,
this low?
All right, thank you very much. Now, for people using the app, we don't really want to overburden them. Our goal is not, we want to encourage more people to use the app. For the farmers, all farmers use are free of charge. The vet.
How many farmers?
All.
How many farmers are using your app?
We're targeting 100,000 farmers by the end of 2020. And that's
how many of them are using your app right now?
We've not opened it up for farmers.
Okay.
We've only opened it up for vets. Because again, once you get in, farmers have a lot. I've been here for 11 years dealing with farmers. When you don't have their solution, you don't open up market for them. So our idea is that once you use the app, as a farmer, we can gather what you're using on gather the information or data from what you're doing on your farm. Then for the vet, who are the middlemen between the drugs and then the farmers, we can also understand how they are going about dispensing those drugs. The big money comes in when you need our data, especially for international companies. And then for the government is actually paying in excess of $40,000 annual subscription to get access to our data. But more importantly, in the distribution of the drug, we're going to be getting 10%. So right now, the distribution of drugs is done unconnected. So a particular vet, I'm a vet, and I have 3 clinics. So I order from this company, order from the other company, it's scattered and unintelligent. So if I'm using FbStart app to sell from my own clinic, I can invariably order all the drugs on my counter from just my mobile app. So our intention is to meet everyone importing drugs, negotiate a 10% deal with them, run those drugs and vaccine through the network that we have established, and then charge a 10% on it. That's where the revenue is going to come.
One more question from me, and I'll shut up. The team, if you look at your team, yeah, if you can scroll to your team, you're the founder of the business, right?
Co-founder.
Who is the other founder?
Blessing Mene.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There'll be a chance to talk to everybody afterwards.
Thank you so much, FbStart. A huge round of applause for them, please. Next up, we team Trap Labs.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abdulwahid, co-founder and product lead at Trap Labs. Last year, I was writing my final exam when I got a call from home. She's gone. Where? How? I just called her last. She promised to make my favorite. I almost failed. The truth to be told, death is inevitable, but nobody deserves to die from preventable clinical and surgical errors. She's not alone. Annually, pregnant women suffer from high blood pressure, and the only solution is to give magnesium sulfate at a very specific rate and specific duration. This treatment can only be administered through infusion treatment, popularly called drip treatment. But due to the fact that this treatment is being administered manually, this leads to the death of 76,000 pregnant women and 500,000 babies annually. Not only that, during blood transfusion and drip treatment, once the bag finishes and there is no timely removal of the needle, the blood will flow back into the line. If that blood should find its way back into the body system, it leads to a condition called thrombosis, popularly known as blood clots. Research has shown that 1 out of 4 deaths in the world is caused from conditions caused by thrombosis, which make it the leading cause of most preventable clinical and surgical deaths in the world. We can't just look like that. We as a team, we came up with a solution. Presenting to you Real Drip. Real Drip is an affordable infusion monitoring device that makes blood transfusion and drip treatment simpler and safer by continuously monitoring the flow rate, the volume administered, and automating this treatment process. We don't just build a device, we build an ecosystem around it. Our device is equipped with remote monitoring functionalities which work completely online and offline for medical teams to be able to monitor what is going on in world, especially for areas in developing countries where we have low doctor to patient ratio. Our solution work offline and online with mobile apps. They can monitor what is going on in the world with the treatment, and at the same time, they can automate the process. Our solution is simple, affordable, and make use of modern technology that today medical team can relate with. Not only that, our solutions compared to competitor cost down the cost of infusion treatment by 98%, from $5,000 to $100, which further emphasizes that good quality healthcare is not about accessibility alone, it's also about affordability. There is rise and demand for infusion monitoring device because this is a global problem. The market was valued at $15 billion last year by Zion Market Research, and our serviceable addressable market for 5% gives $700 million. How do we intend to make money? We intend to make money through hardware sales. Our device go for $100, and through introduction of value-added services like automating the treatment, automated call, and word assignments. We'll be charging subscription fee of $30 annually. And not only that, when we deploy our solutions to the market, the data gathered from the deployment, from efficient treatment, will be passed through business intelligence that will be used to develop medication error reduction software, which will make our solution not only enterprise-facing solution, but a consumer-facing healthcare product, which further emphasizes our belief that with triple apps, because we believe that connectivity should shift the way where we address our healthcare system from curing sickness to enabling wellness through preventive medicine. So far, we started, we've won Microsoft Imagine Cup. Last week, Cisco declared us as the only African team in the semi-finalist of Cisco Global Problem Solver, which further emphasizes that we're solving a global problem. We're working with Nigeria Institute of Medical Research for our clinical trial and regulatory approval. With Lima, this also gives us access to the whole 23 federal medical centers that we have across the country. We're asking for $200,000 for us to complete our regulatory approval with Nigeria Institute of Medical Research. We also want to upscale our product development so that we'll be able to break down the single cost of producing a device by 50%. And at the same time, we want to onboard our first set of 100 clinics through initial paid pilot tests. These are the young, we're a young team of passionate innovators. My partner Taufik is the technical lead, the co-founder as well, the product lead Abdul Wahid. On our advisory board is Dr. Femi Kuti of Reliance HMO, XYC alumni, and Dara Oladapo of Microsoft. By standing on the fundamental principle of testing, refining, evaluating, and prototyping, we are on a mission to save lives by providing affordable medical solutions for today's medical team, because we believe you and I don't actually deserve to die from preventable clinical and surgical errors. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I want you to understand that I've experienced it before. I know how it feels to lose a lost one to preventable clinical and surgical errors, and I don't want you to experience that. Thank you very much. I would love to introduce my partners on stage so that we can take your questions.
Questions?
Please. I didn't quite get your value proposition, I won't lie. It's just, restate.
Okay.
Thank you.
I said our solution is simple, is affordable, and make use of modern technology that this medical team can relate with. And not only that, as compared to competitors, our solution actually cuts down the cost of infusion treatment by 98%. So a typical way of doing this is using an infusion pump in developed countries. And an infusion pump costs $5,000. But with our solutions, it does exactly what an infusion pump does. And at the same time, added extra feature for developing countries, because we realize that there are low doctor to patient ratio in developing countries. So for them to be able to monitor other things that is going on around the world, so we equipped this with remote monitoring functionalities that work completely offline and online.
It's a really good product. So first of all, I'll ask about your IP. What's the update on that? Number two, have you thought about deploying in a public facility like LUT? Because this is a big problem for an hospital like LUT, where you have little doctors monitoring the patients. And by the time blood runs out, some patients even go, I know exactly what you're talking about. So first of all, you need to actually be talking with the government hospitals, because these are the first people you should be having conversations with, deploying for them for free. That's the first that's the first model you should go, deploy for them for free. It's just an advice. I'm not saying you should go with it. I know you want to make money. Then also protect your IP, right? Intellectual property, because those guys that are making $5,000, they're going to come for you. You know, you're taking away their bread. So.
Thank you very much for
So,
that.
I was going to ask one question before you answer him.
Okay.
Are you working with LifeBank by any chance?
Yes, when you talk with them. Okay, yeah. Concerning the IP, actually, good.
Okay. In addition to what Big Chief said, you should also look at providing other addendum to it. I mean, I'm really passionate about health because I've lost a loved one based on this. So you should add, there are other addendums you can add to this to make it value pack your solution.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
So for the IP as well, we're working with a lawyer to patent that, and for the clinic to, part of our partnership is we partner with Royal Hospital Equipment Services. So they service, they procure medical equipment for government clinics. So we're working with them to see how we can enter the market. At the same time, working with NIMA also give us access to Federal Medical Center with the so we'll be working with the surgical wards to carry out our test. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Any other questions?
Oh. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's save lives together.
Thank you for the beautiful presentation, Trop Labs. And up next, we have Cycles.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damilola. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cycles. And at Cycles, we are building smart communities by providing smart bicycle sharing systems in universities and estates. For the past 4 years, as a recent graduate of Quadron University, I've experienced firsthand the problem of making short trips from point A to point B within my university community. This was caused by the availability of just one transport means, which was the university campus shuttle. Now, to bring more context into this problem at hand, I'd like to introduce you to two individuals, Joe and Eva. Joe just recently got admitted into a Nigerian university, and he isn't looking to acquire any major capital assets such as a vehicle or even a bicycle. He just wants to be able to make short trips from point A to point B within his university community in a smart, cost-effective, and convenient manner. Eva, a residential estate in a Nigerian estate, recently acquired a vehicle, but now she needs to go through the pain point of having to service and maintain that vehicle. But all Eva is looking to do is just make short trips from point A to point B within our residential estate in a cost-effective and convenient manner. So what exactly is a solution that solves this last mile transportation inefficiencies that is currently available in universities and estates across Nigeria? Cycles is providing smart bicycle technology that allows individuals to commute from point A to point B within their estates, keep fit, and also enjoy leisure at the convenience of their community. This solution is a flexible, 24-hour available, green and health-centered solution. What exactly is the solution? With the Cycles smart bike, we integrate our Cycles mobile app, which allows for both online and offline users to access our system. How it works is really simple. Using the Cycles mobile app, individuals can locate smart bikes which are deployed in strategic areas across the community, and with the click of a button, the bike unlocks for the individual to take it for a ride, either for moving from point A to point B, for fitness or for leisure within the community. At the end of it all, the individual parks the bicycle at a desired location of his choice, or of his or her choice. We are looking to target 165 universities across Nigeria, which turns out 1.9 million students yearly, and also the Nigerian estate space, which is currently growing at 5%. We are looking to deploy in Quadron University in the coming months, and we are currently working on implementing that. Now, this map is what really fascinates us. Across the world today, across cities and communities around the world, bicycle sharing is already being adopted globally. Little wonder Africa's transportation system is so highly inefficient. Looking at the map of Africa, we can see that there is little or no involvement of this system, which brings about huge which brings about a huge potential for us to deploy not only in Nigeria, but even across Africa. Though we are looking to start small in enclosed and gated communities, this shows us an opportunity for vast growth. Why now, and why is this a good time for us to deploy this solution? We already live in a sharing economy. Car sharing services such as Uber and Taxify are already being adopted in the mainstream system. And with Africa's population growth growing at about 2% annually, there is a need to consider for alternative transportation means. Brands such as Smooth and Uber are also looking to enter into the market, but we are looking to compete with them by deploying a community-focused bike share system, which will generate revenue for these communities even at no cost. How we do this is by going into a revenue sharing model with each community that we deploy in. So far, we are currently implementing in Covenant University and Victoria Garden City, an estate on the island, and we are in talks with a few other universities in the western geopolitical zone of Nigeria. To test and validate our target market, we hosted 2 cycling competitions, which had about 100 registrations in both and 50 cyclists in each edition. Currently, we've integrated our software with our smart bike, as you can see. Over a period of 2 years, we are looking to increase our user base to about 3,000 monthly users, deploy in 5 universities and 10 estates in Nigeria. And through partnerships with Lamata and Institute for Transportation Development, which builds sustainable transport in developing countries, we are looking to deploy in 2 cities in the space of 2 years. We are looking to raise $100,000 to purchase 300 smart bikes, grow our team, and run operations. And we intend to generate a revenue stream of about $115,000 through our monthly subscription plan and pay-as-you-go model in the space of 2 years. We are a team of passionate young graduates from Covenant University, and we've experienced this problem firsthand over the space of 4 years. We have a good blend of both business and technical skills to build this solution. I'd like to invite you today to join us as we build smart communities in Nigeria and Africa. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite my co-founders, and we may take your questions.
Hello, guys. Well done. Very, very exciting. The first thing, what makes the bicycle smart? Is it the device you put on it, or you buy a ready-made smart bicycle?
All right, so there's a smart lock, which is the IoT device that's being placed on the bike. If you can bring it forward a bit, I think it's nice.
So the reason why I'm asking is because when I looked at your commercial, a huge chunk of the money you want to raise, you want to use that to buy bicycles. So that means it's very capital intensive. Your business model is very capital intensive. Is there a possibility of just making any bicycle smart by introducing a smart device on it, so that way you don't have to buy bicycles? You know, people bring their bicycles and then maybe you make it smart.
Yes, so that is a model that we have also considered over the space of the past few months. But the unique thing about a bike sharing bike like this are the key features that make up the bike.
No, I do understand, and I love the model. It's green and all, but just so that you're not very capital intensive, your business model is not capital intensive, because what that means is you will spend lots and lots of money just buying bicycles all over the country. You know, it's another challenge that you have to, that's a different kettle of, you have to deal with that separately. If there is any other way of making any bicycle smart, that would really, really go a long way. Just my 1 cent.
So
yeah.
Just in answering that, it's really simple. Any bike, the smart lock can be integrated with any type of bicycle. The reason why we're actually using this type of bicycle is because of the key features that we see in it. So I'll let you just run through a bit of the different parts of this bike. So this bike currently just has 1 gear system, which allows for the chain to actually last for a period of 4 years. It also has airless tires, which means that if any puncture gets into the tire, we just remove whatever punctures it and the bicycle still continues to work. Also, the design of the bicycle allows for both male and female, even females that are wearing skirts, to use it. So those are some of the key features that we have on the bike that make us to purchase them.
Just to answer you, like, first concern I had, and it was a good thing that they actually brought the physical bike out. This part of the world, theft, you know, they can steal it for parts. It even happens, you know, even in the States. in the UK, in Manchester, I had a bike. You know, I chained it to. I was in. You know, this was Sheffield actually in school. I chained it. I came back and I only made the frame. Everything was stripped. You know, so if you, for me, I think the answer to that, having your own type of bike that people, because if they can't vandalize it for parts, it's actually very, very good because it's unique. Then secondly, you can have a variation of your model where other people can provide the bikes, then you provide a lock. So like, you know, and and the bikes are insured.
Yeah.
So even if it's stolen,
yeah,
you know, so that reduces your capex. Okay. Yeah. Now, but my main concern is there are two things. Riding a bike is not something you just start overnight. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. Not many people know how to ride bikes. You know? Like even me, that was a bike. You know, like I had to relearn it again. So like, how are you going to address that? Actually, making it attractive, yeah, mainstream. You know, getting people to actually want to learn how to ride. You know, like this is not something that's a lot of people who do training wheels and all that, even a lot of adults I know don't know how to ride bikes. Okay. So then, for me, I also think you should also do something to make it. You know about Gokada? You know, yeah. The guys. They sort of made it a fad, made it trendy. You know, you should look at ways to actually do that too as well. Yeah. Thank you.
So in answering that, aside just deploying our system and commercializing it, we also engage in cycling training. So we conduct training in trainings in the communities that we deploy. And also prior to public opinion, we actually did a survey in Nigerian universities and we realized that a good number of university students, which are our target market, actually know how to ride bikes. With the traction that we got from Covenant University of 100 registrations just for a day event, a cycling event, shows also validates that.
Okay, I think it's a great idea. Thinking about how many people are riding bikes and how much energy is being generated from the bikes, have you thought about a way of capturing that energy and selling it as a way to offset the cost of purchasing the bikes? So imagine selling that energy for them to be able to power street lights in the estates, things like that. Like, not now, future, you never can tell.
Yeah, so currently we're even looking at a way in which the energy generated from cycling actually charges the system. Currently, the IoT device on the bike. Currently, the IoT device on the bike is being charged by a solar panel, which is placed here in the basket. So we're looking into that.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for that.
And the last team before our short break, would be Team Up NEPA. A round of applause for Team Up NEPA, please.
Good morning. Sorry, afternoon. I'm Salahuddin Taslim. So just last year, I was still a student. I am my younger brother. We usually study in the day, of course, but we work in the nights. We take, we do freelancing a lot, and we have remote jobs. We do. But there was one factor that controls us the most, and that was the presence of power supply, or that of a power supply. Usually, that detects our movement and our decisions daily. So let me give an instance. We are on campus, using the power supply on campus, but we need to go home. But we won't go home unless we have power supply at home. Or we want to go and see a friend. We won't go to his house unless he has power supply in his area. So, but usually we ask ourselves, how do we know about this information without calling or without wasting our time asking people questions? So we add a which. What if we add a platform and we can access this information without any disturbance? We add that wish for a very long time until we decide to solve it by ourselves. So we came up with this platform, Olipa.ng. What it basically does is we design a small device installed in different communities. What the device does is it monitors and detects power supply and updates a server. So on this particular platform, you can see the real-time power supply information, whether it's on or off for your area. You can see last time power was restored and last time it was taken, if there's no power supply at that moment. Lastly, we did a particular feature on this platform that tells you the hours of light and darkness for each community. So you can actually compare before maybe renting a workspace or renting a hostel or work environment, compare between two communities on how stable power supply is before making your decision. We launched this platform in our campus, not knowing that within the first 28 days, we had over 5,000 students join us using this platform. We thought we were alone at first, but we learned that we're not alone actually facing this particular problem. Just after that, we went home, noticed that in the school environment was quite different from a real community situation. We noticed our mom always do something. She always monitor everyone in terms of how we use power supply, just to manage the bills per month. So she would be like, the money for this month is 5,000 naira, you must not earn this, you must not earn that, so and so and so. So we thought, okay, if at school, we want to know where lights on and off, but at home, we want to manage your cost. How do you do that? So we noticed two major problems. Most Nigerians are not informed about power supply at community level and at personal level, and also we don't have control over power supply at our homes. So we went a step further by increasing this platform to do just this. The same device that was designed for community level, we did the same for your home level. So what it basically does is you attach the device to your devices that consume power the most, and do one thing on our platform. You input in Naira how much you want to spend for the month. What the device does is it looks at how you consume power supply, and we set the rate of power consumption calculation for the normal discos rating. That's the rate. So it looks at your current consumption rate and look at your budget and tell you how long it will last for the entire month. So with this, you can regulate how you use power supply and ensure your bills meet your particular target for the entire month. If you notice something, we aggregate data across different levels, community level and personal level. With this data, we've been able to come up with insights for companies that are trying to solve power deficiency in Nigeria. So what we do basically is we have the ability to count how many households in the community, and since we know the duration of light on and off for each community, we can categorically tell a business on how many households suffer from power deficiency in this community, and this gives them an insight to their potential customers. Let's say, for instance, someone is selling solar system and wants to target a particular community. So we could tell you how many people are in that community, and also the level of power deficiency that occurs in that community over time. This is how it works actually. Our device detects power supply, send it to the cloud, where we analyze this data and gives reliable information to both users and both businesses. Our business model, we do a direct sale of our smart device for almost a margin of $7 per device. Also, we do subscription based for those that are willing to use our predictive model. Now, on our platform, with the data we acquire, we're able to predict for you how much you may spend in the next month. But on the community level, we can predict for you the power restoration pattern in your community. So let's give an instance. Let's say in a place we deployed our solution for like 6 months ago, we can tell you the pattern of power on a power off that occurs in that area over a particular period of time. So we can tell you most likely this afternoon power might be restored. This helps a lot of youth to plan their day and make several decisions across time. Also, profit share. When we recommend products for you brought by businesses that want to solve power deficiency in the community, we recommend this product to our users to solve their power deficiency problem over time. And on each product sold, we have a particular profit share on it. According to World Bank, about 90 million households in Nigeria are connected to the grid, and this household face this particular problem of power deficiency and power instability. So we're targeting 1% of this particular population, which is about now 190,000 households, to give them our device to help them solve their problem. We seek to raise $100,000 for 10% of our company to take our device from POC concept to a marketable product, obtain licenses, and also do mass production, and also to deploy our service to across 1,000 communities in Nigeria, getting our first set of users, and also acquiring our first 100,000 paying customers using our device at their home. Our team is that's Salaudin Abdurrahman, my co-founder. That's me, Tasmin Salaudin, the product lead. That's Kayode, the hardware engineer, and Bashir, our brand designer. We are trying to build the largest database of power supply consumption across Africa by giving you the ability to be informed and also be control of the power supply in your home and in your community. Thank you.
Hey, well done, nice presentation, and I like the name. Quick question. You mentioned that for the home use, you could just plug it to any device or any equipment in your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so could you, how about just connecting it to the main control switch and just see what the whole thing reads?
All right, so we run like personnel and surveys across different areas. We noticed three things. There are those that have unstable power supply, so they need more power supply to do their work. There are those that have stable power supply, but needs to manage it. And there are those that have both grid and maybe solar system in their house, and they also need to manage their, how they spend the power supply. So what we designed was, first, a smart circuit that you can plug your, maybe a fridge is consuming more power, you can limit it to particular budgets. So also, for those that want to control their entire homes, is to use that same device, but at the dB level. Now, when we try and study how Nigerians in general appreciate technology, we notice that we are a bit backward. So we have to come back a little bit. Not that we can't do the entire home automation, but we have to come down to a level that they all understand first, then gradually grow ahead with that. Does that answer the question, sir? Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Well done on this initiative. I commend what you have done so far. So I just have one concern. How do you differentiate or identify sources of power supply? For example, we might be using generator now, and your device is reading that there is power here, and all of a sudden something happens. The one from the national grid comes, and there is also light. Okay. How do you differentiate them? Then two, what if I just create a Facebook page and tell people to donate their old Android phones? Then I develop an app, install there, and still get the same data that you have. You are going far to develop a unique device to still capture.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me start with the second question first. So before we did our pre-launch, we tried 3 methods of applying this data. First, we tried open source. So when there's lights, you report. So we notice most times for typical Nigerians, when there's lights, everybody forgets. No one remember to come up update the platform. Then we move ahead to the second stage, which was we designed our application to detect when you are charging. So basically what we did is for an area, for example, for area A, we tell you how many phones are charging at this instant. You understand? So typically, whenever there's power supply, most Nigerians plug their device, even though it's almost full, even the battery is almost full, you just plug your device. So most likely they said uprise in the device when there's power supply. So we tried that. It was a bit accurate to tell you the information about power on or off, but that was not our actual target. But we're trying to create insights from this data, so we need more data source than just a particular count. So we moved to the last stage, which was using the IoT devices. So this is automated. You install the device deliberately in an area, it records, and it saves it. So we can give you both historical and both real-time data. So we deliberately, for community level monitoring, we deliberately install this device in a safe place within the community that it can measure power supply for our usage, particular. Will that answer the second question? Okay. So for the first now, at the home level, when you want to use it for your personal self, so what device does basically is in this stage, maybe you're not at home right now, and power is restored at your home. The device tells you that currently there's light, and the light is low voltage or high voltage. It tells you, so you know that it's not to turn on your device. Now let's assume right from your office space you want to put on your popping machine. So lucky for you, you attach the popping machine to our device. So what you do is you turn on the switch and set how long it should remain on. So at that instance, it is where you attach the device to that detects what it monitors and what it measures. If you attach the device to a solar system in your house, it's only tells you how long your battery will last. If you attach it to your grid system, it tells you how long your budget you put in the application will last you. So it's on your own decision on a personal level. But for the community level, we decide where we install our device in to ensure that it monitors only the grid.
Thank you so much. One last question.
Okay, so the target is not to measure the changes between generator and the grid, right? But what I want to say is that the major challenge that your customers, the target customers have, is not measuring in between that or the usage, because with the prepaid meter alone,
they are able to do that measurement. They are able to do that control. I will be happier if you look at, since you have the device already, if you look at how you can work with the discos. Because the major challenge the discos have is the ability to know when and where power has gone off. Sometimes when we do not have light, it's not because there is no supply, but because they are not even aware that power is off. And I know that they are looking for devices that can send signal to them that this your line has issue. You understand? And so since you already have a device like this, tweak it a little and see how it can relate to the discos, and then you will immediately have markets.
Yeah, very well, sir. We gave that a little bit of thought before we launched our recent version. So on the platform, aside knowing the real-time information, you can quickly report a instant incident. I'll give you an instance. One of the campus we launched in last week, there was a blackout in an area. So they reported on the platform that it was a falling pole. So the first thing we did was to inform everybody in that area using our platform that the reason for light out is the falling pole that happened in this particular area. And also try to reach out to the nearest office, the nearest disco office within that area to go on the report that this thing has happened. So we
don't worry. That's manually somebody have to enter the information.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, since you have a device, look at possibility of the device sending signal.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to answer to all questions. You know, it's an idea. So once you have it, it will be jammed, and then you'll be able. So it's not a matter. You mustn't answer. You understand? The solution we are looking for in that area is the ability of device to inform the people that your line has fallen. You understand?
Clearly, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
A round of applause for Team Up NAPA, please. Thank you so much. All right, and with that, we've gone through 8 startups. We have 7 left. Before we go into the next one, so that you can stretch your legs just a little bit, the break is holding in this room, so please don't go out. However, we're going to be playing a video, a short story of what the process of the FbStart Accelerator has been from inception. And also, at the back over there to my left, we have some juice over there. So please, you can just walk over there, take a cup or two, and then come back and sit and enjoy the video. The video will last for 10 minutes. And afterwards, we would have the next 7 teams, starting with Team Insight. Please do not forget that afterwards, there will be a mini exhibition. So you can actually experience all of these products and interact with them, and also have further conversations with each of the founders, right? And also do not forget Wi-Fi. The username is FbGuest, and the password is move fast with a 0 instead of an O. Now to the video.
My name is Kendra, and I work with Facebook as a startups program manager for Nigeria. So in 2016, Mark Zuckerberg came to Africa, and specifically Nigeria, to explore the landscape and just get a sense of what was happening with the tech ecosystem. And that triggered a series of Facebook visits and investments in what's going on in Africa, which led to us deciding that Nigeria is actually this huge potential of talent and resources and just the human mind that we could explore. And so in November 2017, we announced that we're going to do exactly that. We're going to invest in the community space here in Lagos, and also train 50,000 Nigerians in digital skills and entrepreneurship. But to do that, we needed a partner that is not only well-versed in the ecosystem and respected as a leader, but is also passionate and has a track record of success in driving impact in technology and innovation in Nigeria. And of course, that led us to Co-Creation Hub. And so that was the beginning of that partnership and that relationship. that became physically evident with the launch of NG Hub in Yaba 9 months ago, which also coincided with when we announced the FbStart Accelerator program. The FbStart Accelerator program is essentially a brainchild between Facebook and Co-Creation Hub to empower young people or just Nigerians that are creating amazing solutions using deep tech. And by deep tech, we mean artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, data science, virtual reality, to solve very locally relevant problems that can also be exported globally. So we had this dream, now we had the resources, we had the physical space, but we needed the actual people building these things. So we put out a call for application on May 22nd, 2018, and the reception was mind-blowing. We had over 500 applications coming in no time at all. And that whole journey from interviewing the shortlisted candidates to picking the 15 teams that we then worked with for the past 6 months is what has essentially led us to today, where we have 15 solutions that we're super proud of and we think are on a good path to changing technology in Nigeria as we know it.
Hi everyone, my name is Francis Sani and I manage the FbStart Accelerator, and I also manage acceleration programs at CCL. So after we put out the call for applications after the launch of NG Hub in May, we went to 13 cities across the country in the 6 geopolitical zones across the country, right? And in these cities, went to universities, went to innovation hubs, in search of innovators who were already using deep tech to solve problems locally. Along this journey, we met really amazing guys. We met developers and entrepreneurs at different stages. We went people who were really early stage, who were just getting into the engineering space. We also met some entrepreneurs who had already built several startups. And we met some really, really great engineers. But the interesting thing was that also that it was a good mix of BSc students, MSc students, PhD students, and also entrepreneurs that we met across the city. It was amazing and it was thrilling, right? Because every single new city that we went into gave us extremely new experiences. The audience and the students and every single person that we met in these new cities give us a new way of looking at deep tech. We experienced new innovations. We experienced students who were in Enugu who were already building drones. In Kaduna, we saw some guys who were making 3D printers out of locally made materials, and many, many more examples of this across the entire country. So during each roadshow, we started off each roadshow with an experience where we showed them examples of what the applications of deep tech across the world was like. We showed them examples of how people were applying artificial intelligence in healthcare, how people were using data science, and how businesses were using data science to change the way they made business decisions, and generally how deep tech has made things that were thought to be impossible 10 years ago possible in our world today. But even more importantly, what we then tried to do was try to then help them see how we can apply these innovations not to our own problems, not in 10 years or 20 years, how they can understand how these innovations can solve problems that exist currently in our country and our environment today. At the end of the call for application, something that we didn't imagine happened. We had 540 applications from innovators across the country. Really, really quality ideas that were looking to solve problems across a variety of sectors. And what we then had to do was then go on the other stacks of then trying to shortlist all of these applications to the final 15. So this was a very arduous 8-week process, right, where we used a very wide selection of both internal and external experts from across different sectors. And we're intentional about this because what we then tried to do was try to get experts from each of the sectors that the main shortlisted applicants were in, such that we got a very unbiased overview about the solution that they were trying to build, the existence of that particular pain point in the sector, and also the long-term viability of the solution that they were building. And at the end of this 8-week process, we then emerged with the 15 startups. Of these 15 startups, we had 6 startups building solutions with artificial intelligence. We had 4 startups building solutions with IoT. We had 1 startup building solutions with data science, and 3 really interesting startups that are building groundbreaking innovations using virtual reality.
Space in culture and business. In the next 10 years,
at the end of the
meeting with the startup teams, and at the end of that,
that the main shortlisted applicants were in, such that we got a very unbiased overview about the solution that they were trying to build, about the existence of that particular pain point in the sector, and also the long-term viability of the solution that they were building. And at the end of this 8-week process, we then emerged with the 15 startups. Of these 15 startups, we had 6 startups building solutions with artificial intelligence. We had 4 startups building solutions with IoT. We had 1 startup building solutions with data science, and 3 really interesting startups that are building groundbreaking innovations using virtual reality.
My name is Damola Teidi. I'm the director of the incubation unit here at CC Hub. So we had 15 teams selected. 10 of them were student teams, 6 BSc, 4 postgrads MSc, and then 5 startup teams. The student teams were mostly in their research and prototype phase, while the startup teams were in their advanced product market fit stage. So they were looking to gain more customers. So the journey for them started late August. We started off with a 1-week boot camp. So some of the teams were going to be virtual teams, so they would join in on the accelerator program virtually because they were students. So we wanted a week where they could all come together, interact with each other, where we can set expectations as well. And so during that time, they worked on refining their solution because they all had different ideas. They met with customers as well. We paired them up with technical experts, industry experts, just sort of finding out if this is the right solution for the market, speaking to people who have worked in that industry as well. Same thing with the startup teams. And at the end of that, we then had some kind of showcase day where they were speaking to a few corporate organizations with some sort of public events, and they were just going to talk about what they would spend the next 6 months building. That this is the solution after speaking to so many customers and industry experts, and this is what they will spend the next 6 months building, and inviting the attendees to also join them on that journey in terms of testing the solutions when they are done, or going through that phase with them as well. The boot and I work with Facebook as a startups program manager for Nigeria. So in 2016, Mark Zuckerberg came to Africa and specifically Nigeria to explore the landscape and just get a sense of what was happening with the tech ecosystem. And that triggered a series of Facebook visits and investments in what's going on in Africa, which led to us deciding that Nigeria is actually this huge potential of talent and resources and just the human mind that we could explore. And so in November 2017, we announced that we're going to do exactly that. We're going to invest in the community space here in Lagos and also train 50,000 Nigerians in digital skills and entrepreneurship. But to do that, we needed a partner that is not only well-versed in the ecosystem and respected as a leader, but is also passionate and has a track record of success in driving impact in technology and innovation in Nigeria. And of course, that led us to Co-Creation Hub. And So that was the beginning of that partnership and that relationship that became physically evident with the launch of NG Hub in Yaba 9 months ago, which also coincided with when we announced the FbStart Accelerator program. The FbStart Accelerator program is essentially a brainchild between Facebook and Co-Creation Hub to empower young people or just Nigerians that are creating amazing solutions using deep tech. And by deep tech, we mean artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, data science, virtual reality, to solve very locally relevant problems that can also be exported globally. So we had this dream. Now we had the resources, we had the physical space, but we needed the actual people building these things. So we put out a call for application on May 22nd, 2018, and the reception was mind-blowing. We had over 500 applications coming in no time at all. And that whole journey from interviewing the shortlisted candidates to picking the 15 teams that we then worked with for the past 6 months is what has essentially led us to today, where we have 15 solutions that we're super proud of and we think are on a good path to changing technology in Nigeria as we know it.
Hi everyone, my name is Francis Sani and I manage the FbStart Accelerator, and I also manage acceleration programs at CCL. So after we put out the call for applications after the launch of NG Hub in May, we went to 13 cities across the country in the 6 geopolitical zones across the country, right? And in these cities, we went to universities, we went to innovation hubs, in search of innovators who are already using deep tech to solve problems locally. Along this journey, we met really amazing guys. We met developers and entrepreneurs at different stages. We met people who were really early stage, who were just getting into the engineering space. We also met some entrepreneurs who had already built several startups. And we met some really, really great engineers. But the interesting thing was that it was a good mix of BSc students, MSc students, PhD students, and also entrepreneurs that we met across the city. It was amazing and it was thrilling, right? Because every single new city that we went into gave us extremely new experiences. The audience and the students and every single person that we met in these new cities.
And over the next couple of minutes, we'll be having the second batch of 7 startups who will be pitching. It's important to note something that we didn't emphasize as much, and which I'd like to ask a question very quickly. Of all the teams that are presented today, how many people can guess the ones that are student teams that were literally BSc students a couple of months ago? Anybody? Can anyone guess? Apart from Cycles that said, apart from Open Paper, who else? How did you know Treplabs? But again, the interesting thing is that literally 5 or 4 months ago, most of the guys standing here today were in school, right? They were literally in classes, taking lectures. And over the past 4 to 5, 6 months, they've been able to go from that to not just building amazing solutions, solving real problems, but to also building a business around it, right? The next set of startups that we'll be listening to over the next couple of minutes as well, a lot of them are MSc students and BSc students who have been able to take their research ideas or their prototypes into functional products today that you can experience during the mini exhibition as well. So while we're prepping up for the next team, for the first batch of pitches, okay. And next up, please join me with a round of applause to welcome on stage for the second batch of presentations, Team Insight. A round of applause for them, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frank. I'm team leader at Insight Analytics. At Insight, we help businesses make better business and marketing decisions using social media data. Social media has changed the way businesses interact with customers. Customers now go on social media to leave feedback, recommendations, and most importantly, complaints. A case in point is Mr. Samuel, who on 12th of March made a complaint concerning poor network delivery by his network providers. This complaint stayed over 120 hours without anybody attending to him. Why is this important? Mr. Samuel has over 20,000 followers on Twitter. Each one of them could easily make decisions based off what he posted. Each one of them could be influenced by what he posted. Why is this important? Also, 9 in 10 users, before they make any purchase, they always look for social media recommendations on social media, because over 50% of people talk about what they purchase, what they use on social media. That is not only the problem social media presents to businesses. Social media also presents the problem of how do they manage social media crisis, how do they prioritize feedback from customers, and how do they also measure the return on investment on their marketing campaigns online. If Insight is a solution to that, Insight is a social media monitoring platform that allows businesses track public perception of what people are saying about them on social media. On Insight, users can use keywords relevant to their businesses and create projects. What Insight now does is that it uses those keywords, goes online, goes on social media, gathers relevant tweets that contains those keywords. Those keywords could be the name of your business, your name, even your name, or name of your product. Insight analyzes it and presents it to you to make effective decisions. If Mr. Samuel's network providers were using Insight, it would have been very easy for them to see his message real time, reply to it on our platform, and even view directly the Twitter feed, see other comments underneath it. Insight also provides other effective tools that marketers and business administrators could use to make business decisions, such as an overall sentiment chart, which shows how the overall view of what people are saying about them over a period of time, and also a chart that shows, which is very important, that shows the top hours and the top days in a week when people are talking about your product. This can enable marketers create targeted ads for those days, for those periods of time. There are other tools doing this same thing currently. We have Brand 24, very popular, Senti1, very, very popular. What differentiates us? We do this analysis, not just in English, but also local languages. Nigerian Pidgin, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. So not any tweet, any comment that is posted in any language in Nigeria, our solution can analyze it and show whether it is positive or negative. Our solution can also be installed on premises for data security and privacy. And it's also very important, it's very, very low cost. Very, very low cost. With $20, you can start a project and start tracking keywords relevant to your business. The market size by 2022, the market is by 2022 is worldwide revenues should be approaching $200 billion. The companies that could use this product include telcos, companies in telecom industries that have high user base on social media, banks, digital marketing agencies. Our revenue model, we employ a subscription-based model in which users can pay for monthly access to our product. We also have customized enterprise versions, which enterprise users can connect to their emails, social media channels, where they receive messages from users, and our tool will analyze it. It's customized. currently, our tool can analyze in Nigerian Pidgin. We're looking at over the next 1 year to add other languages such as Zulu, South African languages, and even the Ghanaian ones. Our team is led by me, Mambuse Frank. Now we have over 10 years experience building machine learning tools and custom enterprise tools. While being advised by Felix Strasser from Facebook, he has started and sold more than 2 marketing startups and is currently with Facebook. We're asking for $50,000 to enable us build our development team, our sales team to really break into the market and also improve our online platform. Thank you very much. Come join us at Insight. Questions, please.
Yeah, I think we had a chat earlier before your presentation, and my main concern still is this. Like, first thing you said about the on-premise, why is that necessary? Because you're all of social media happens online, so why do you need to have an on-premise?
Some enterprise users want data on premises so that they could also run other analysis on it, not just the ones we run. So they could have the data anytime, anywhere to run
What
analysis.
kind of analysis would they be running?
A few months back, IBTC ran a development hub for startups to enable them run custom tools, like create custom tools that they already have data, IBTC. They already have data, so they were looking for startups that could use those data to create like how do customers use their product.
Oh, okay, they are merging their existing data.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay, then on the, like Google has natural language APIs.
Yeah.
Even with that, they still struggle with things like slangs.
Yeah.
And like you're talking about Pidgin English. Like I
Yeah.
told you, Warri Pidgin is very, very different from Lagos Pidgin.
Yeah.
And a lot of, there's no real structure. A lot of it is derived, created. Like a lot of the stuff people use on social media. It's not as if Pidgin English doesn't have structure. It does, but a lot of social media usage, like somebody keeps telling me, "Oh, this thing is on fleek." I didn't know what it was. I'm an old man for a long time. I know. Like there are local terms that people use. So how do you, keep updating your learning models to actually include all of those things?
Over the past 6 months while we're here, we created a very large database of Pidgin words that people use every time on social media. So we crowdsourced it from different platforms that have already been gathering it over the past few years. So with that, their data and new data we're also getting from social media, we're able to classify it and improve our model.
So another answer is that we also built a system around our platform so that we can routinely request our users to classify false positives or to report false positives. This will help us to iterate on our model because we are building our data set ourselves. So we use those false positives to retrain the model to improve its accuracy. And on the first question you asked, another reason for on-premise deployment is for privacy issues. Many companies don't want their emails, like you said, the enterprise versions would link to their emails and live chats and other information. They don't want those information to come online due to the privacy issues. So we are deploying it on their on-premise so that it can track messages in their own system and also give them analysis on it. Thank you very much.
Any other?
Okay, brilliant idea, solution, but I don't know why you people, virtually all the presentation, made up your mind that the equity you are requesting for must be 10%. Now, the advice is this. when anybody who wants to invest on this may also have ideas of how to make it more marketable, more business attractive. So don't say 10% equity. Yes, you've said you need about 18 million naira. Well, okay, these two people will bring the dollars. But for us, I understand naira. I don't have dollars. Okay? Yes, and that is the truth. But when I look at a solution, if I want to invest in it, I will also be looking how quick I am going to be able to get it to the market. So you're still going to do a lot of work on it. So apart from the money, there is also domain reservoir of knowledge that such people will want to bring into the product. So don't cast it on stone that the equity is 10%. It doesn't work like that. But I believe that, of course, when somebody is interested, you will sit down and then listen to.
Yes, sir, we will. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Team Insights, please. And next, we have Project Move.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Tade Ajiboye, and I'm working on Project Move. Project Move is an accessory for mobile-driven virtual reality systems, and I'm about to tell you exactly what that means. So in virtual reality, you generally have two types of experiences. You can have static experiences, and you can have dynamic experiences. Static experiences are experiences where you can't interact with that space, you can't move around that space, you can only look around it from a static point of view, as is shown in that GIF. Dynamic experiences, on the other hand, are way more immersive and way more interactive. This means that you can walk around the entire virtual space, you can interact with objects in that space, and you can generally have a way more immersive experience with virtual reality. Now, to achieve dynamic experiences, you will need a PC-powered virtual reality system, which comprises of a very expensive PC, a headset, which goes for around $600, and sensors. Project Move solves this for mobile-driven headsets because it allows you to have RF sensors around the space and gives positional tracking to mobile-driven headsets. What this means is with your Google Cardboard, which is like $10, you can have the experiences you would need a PC-powered headset to have. So here's an example of the kind of experience you can have without Project Move with your simple Google Cardboard or your Gear VR. This is a simple game where cannons shoot at you and you're meant to dodge them. But because you lack positional tracking and interactivity with simple mobile-driven headsets, you cannot dodge them because it doesn't know where you're moving in space. But with the addition of Project Move, you now have a very interactive game where you can dodge the cannons and you get feedback on in your virtual reality space. So currently, mobile-driven VR rules the market. What this means is it's the most widespread form of VR, basically because it's very cheap. And anybody that has a mobile phone can just get like a $10 cardboard and have VR. What that means is with Project Move, with the most widespread form of VR, we can actually now have way more interactive systems and way more immersive virtual reality experiences. And this allows different solutions that would only be available for PC-powered systems to now be available for mobile-driven systems. The prototype is almost complete. I'm going to design, also going to have controllers with the platform so you can have 6 degrees of freedom controllers just like you have with the PC-powered counterparts. And then I intend to partner with content creators to create VR content for the platform before it goes into the market. I'm Tade Ajiboye, I'm a VR developer and electronics engineer, and I'm working on Project Move. Thank you. If you have any questions, please.
Questions, please. So I'm trying to get clarity. Is it a VR experience or some sort of infrastructure that others can build on?
Yeah, so it's like an infrastructure, yeah? So it's like it's an addition to mobile-driven headsets, like hardware, and so it's just a system that allows people to create for that platform. So it allows different content creators to be able to create way more immersive and interactive experiences for the mobile-driven headsets. So it's not like I'm creating content. I'm just creating a system to allow people to create better content on these platforms. Yeah, thank you for it. Any other questions? He has one.
How is it different from augmented reality and concepts like HoloLens?
Okay, so augmented reality is actually fundamentally different from virtual reality in the sense that what augmented does is it brings film data, it brings like computer-generated objects into the real world. So for example, if I have like an AR headset on, I see you guys, but then I see an overlay of information on top of you guys, so I could see like a bear in real world. What virtual reality is actually takes the user into a virtual space. So everything around is completely virtual. So with augmented reality, if I walk around that computer-generated object, it notices I'm going around it. So augmented reality has positional tracking. But for virtual reality, you don't generally have that except you have a very expensive system. So basically, you can only be, I could be in Mars now, and I can just look around Mars, but I can't walk around Mars or pick up the stones with the fundamental type of mobile-driven virtual reality system. I'm not sure if I answered your question properly. Yeah, so HoloLens is an augmented reality headset, so it doesn't take you into a different world. With the HoloLens, if I put it on, I can't be in Mars, I can't be in like the pyramids of Egypt. I'm still in this room, but then I could bring like Ed Sheeran here, and he's here dancing or whatever, or I could look at that and it gives me more information about that in the real world. So augmented reality augments reality, while virtual reality takes you to a separate world. Yeah, so HoloLens is AR. Okay?
All right. Great presentation, Taddy.
Thanks.
What I wanted to ask is, one, how do you plan on monetizing your platform? Do you plan on creating an SDK or, and then secondly, what are the applications, what applications do you see in the future of your product?
All right, good question. So for monetizing, yeah, I'm going to create an SDK for people to be able to create for this platform. But also it's an accessory. So there's purchase. You have to purchase the accessory to get these added capabilities. Now applications, a very good example would be like a startup like Quadron, for example, who are trying to train people using VR, but they have to originally buy HTC Vive or an Oculus Rift for their system to be complete. And that goes for like $600 just for the Vive and like over $1,000 for the PC. But with this, they can deploy let's say a lower version on $100 headsets and $100 accessory. So any startup or any company that uses virtual reality as a solution but has to rely on the really powerful versions can now spread their solutions to the more common. Yeah. Not particularly. The only thing you could say that is kind of side by side with it is standalone headsets, which don't generally, they're like all-in-one headsets. So it's not the same as helping providing already mobile-driven headsets the capabilities, just creating an entire new system in general. Okay.
The retail industry is in a huge trouble. Now, you probably already know that because they've been there for long. Retailers lose $50 billion annually to theft. About 38% of that is from shoplifting, 39% from dishonest employee theft, and the other percentages goes to other sources like fraud and administrative losses. This is a big problem. So Time.com reported that there's an exponential growth in terms of loss related to theft and shoplifting annually, which means that it's a really big problem to every retailer. My name is Abdulakim Bashir, and I'm the founder and CEO of ChinikiGuard. ChinikiGuard is a human activity recognition service that provides real-time updates by analyzing video feed. It could be from a CCTV camera source or a pre-recorded video. So currently we're working with retail stores to help them prevent shoplifting. As a customer walks in, we analyze and classify what they do. If it's a suspicious activity, we report instantly so that we can prevent losses. So Bloomberg published that there will be an investment of over $200 billion in 2019 alone by retailers in terms of new technologies to prevent shoplifting from happening. This is a big market and a big opportunity. So this is the current status quo. You have a camera. Most retail stores have a camera. Probably when something happens, it only gets noticed after some calculations took place, and then they play back the footage, nothing gets done, items never get recovered. And this is how Chineke Guard solves the problem. So after capturing, as you walk into the store, every move you make is being analyzed and classified over certain actions. Over 101 different human actions. As you commit something, if it's suspicious activity, we instantly report to the appropriate person so that it can be prevented. So we have a competition globally. NTT East and VAC, both of these companies are from Japan. And it seems we're the only players in this space. NTT East uses pose estimation, which was our initial approach, and then we later switched back to a better algorithm. Pose estimation never did work. They provide only, prediction classification of either shoplifting or not, which is 2 classes. Whereas BAC provides multiple classes. They also provide human activity recognition. But they actually provide cloud support, and their pricing is a bit high. NTT is also cloud support plus 2,400 camera to be able to use their system. And this is what Chineke offers. Currently, we can classify 101 human actions. Now, of course, some of these actions are not entirely related to shoplifting. They ranges from things like walking, talking, on phone, chatting, all the way to put an item in cart, put an item in pocket, even applying makeup. A lot of actions we classify. It can also be used completely offline, and our pricing is relatively cheap. So, with over 8,000 retail stores across Nigeria, at an average of 10 cameras per store, we charge $10 per camera. We're expecting to grow to about $8 million in the next 3 years. Now, this is just Nigeria alone. Of course, the market globally is quite huge. The US alone, there's over 751 firms in retails with over 1.1 million establishments, and there's not a single company in the United States building a technology to solve shoplifting currently. So this is where we are. There are milestones so far. We've done market research. Currently, our algorithm classifies at about 78% accuracy, and then we can be able to classify 101 human actions. Hopefully, we'll be launching in the next couple of months, and then from there is growth. So we're looking for $180,000 to scale up our team and reach 2,000 stores here in Nigeria in the next 3 years. And of course, have our prototype lab, which is going to help us in data generation and data cleaning. We have a robust team. My co-founder and CTO, Umar Abubakar, has over 15 years of experience, industry experience, building software and mobile applications. Myself, I'm a deep learning engineer with over 6 years of working experience, built several enterprise AI projects. We have a machine learning engineer, and also my advisor and mentor. Thank you very much. I'd like to take some questions, if there's any.
Thank you very much. Great presentation. 2 things. You said nobody is actually doing anything on shoplifting in America. Are you sure of that? Then,
yeah, very sure.
Okay. Then, secondly, on your learning models, how are you actually measuring the accuracy? How do you like there are different. There are some videos I've seen of shoplifting that are so creative, it's unbelievable. I think there was one from South Africa where a lady just lifted a baby and somebody put something on there. One of the things that, when it comes to theft, people have, is it the regular just pick the thing and put in the pocket and all of that they are measuring, or you're looking at all other activities? And how long have you actually run these models to actually know, and where have you tested them to actually know that they're accurate? Thank you.
Sure, like I said, our initial approach was using pose estimation. The accuracy when training was very good, above 80, but when we tested on a different video that it hasn't seen before, it really overfits. It's not generalizing. So that was one of the reasons why we switched to human activity recognition. And it turns out that before someone commits shoplifting, there's a sequence of actions that he take. After those actions, then we kind of put it on another classifier to rank it on a suspicious rate or not. So that one also helps us to predict shoplifting. Yeah. As regards to testing, we are currently we have actually signed an agreement with 2 retail stores right now. We will start testing in the next couple of months with them. We have not.
Yeah, just 2 clarifications. The first one, am I right in thinking that you're assuming you'll have 100% market share? Because you said 8,000 stores and you're $100 and $8 million revenue. Is that a realistic assumption? First one. Then the second one is, am I right that you haven't actually done a pilot of this?
We have not done a pilot, we're in the process. And as regards to the market share, I'm just talking about Nigeria. We have over 8,000 retail stores. We're not looking at reaching them all. Where our goal is to reach 2,000 in the next 3 years.
And how do you sell to each store? How do you sell to each store?
It's a B2B business, and when doing our market research, we went across several states in the country. We reached out to them. About more than 90% of them are really interested and they are willing to invest in the technology. So the selling is, the channel is going to be that, like, we talk to them and they will get on board. They'll get on board.
Great presentation. My question is, why are you trying to sell cameras?
Sorry? Why?
Yeah, my question is, why are you trying to sell cameras? If you built such a great algorithm and technology, why not just piggy bank on other existing people who sell cameras? Why are you trying to sell cameras?
We're not selling cameras.
Okay, because I saw $10 per camera and I was wondering.
To monitor, to use our software. Actually, it's a software and a mobile application. So the camera can be anything. It can also be a pre-recorded video. Normal existing cameras will work. You just provide an IP address of the camera. You plug it into our desktop application, and that's all. Okay. It's just a subscription based per camera per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else with a question?
So, I'm actually wondering how you're going to do that. Because, like, if I have like 16 cameras, because, like, okay, for me now, I use Nest cameras. And I also have the traditional CCTV cameras, okay? And when it records, I have a composite video. They're the individual cameras. Then I can also have like one whole video of one stream of everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe this does this time of the day, this one does, So if you are reading it for just 5 formats, that's what you're reading of the videos, right? To actually, I say you're reading. It's just a video file format you're reading to actually do the learning.
Yes.
Okay. And is it done real time? Or is it done after the fact? You understand what I'm saying? Then secondly, for things like Next and all of that, if I'm actually now using a cloud-based system like Nest, how is that going to work with your solution?
Sorry, what was the first question?
Okay.
Okay, the real time. Sorry. The whole idea is to detect.
Apart from real time, like for my CCTV, I can actually have all of my images in one big file. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's some funny brand that I can go through even my what do you call it, the car, the dash cam. You understand what I'm saying? I can actually even combine all my for different cars into one. You know what I'm saying? One file, okay? If somebody does that, how does that affect your pricing? You know, are you not thinking of also pricing per size of, you know, of image rather than, you know, the per camera thing is a bit fuzzy. Then is it real time or is it, you know, offline? You know, all of those things, you know, in terms of pricing. Then also, if I have
Next camera,
like things like Nest, okay, how are you going to do? You know, how are you going to do that? How are you going to start working? Because that's the trend. That's where everybody's going to. You know, there's a supermarket I know in Ghana. In fact, my whole estate in Ghana, they have even Nest doorbells, everything. You know, so that's the trend in the future. Thank you.
Yeah. So the thing with Next is they cannot actually tell you the exact action that someone is taking place. And as far as the whole idea is to detect and prevent, so we want to report instantly when the action takes place. It's real time. So also, all we need is a video source. It can be pre-recorded video. Someone was actually saying you have a pre-recorded video. You can feed the video and decide which actions you want to filter, and it will tell you the time and when the actions took place. It will also took the videos out for you, not to watch the whole video. So we just need a video file and that's all, or video source. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for Chineke Guy, please. And the next team is Smart Electricity. A round of applause for them, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eze Livinus. I'm the team lead, Smart Electricity. With the advent of Internet of Things, the usage of mobile devices have increased recently. And this comes with a lot of problems which need to be resolved. Such problem ranges from heavy luggage and untidy workspace. You find that a single user actually owns about minimum of 3 devices. If it's not a smartwatch, it will be a laptop, a smartphone, and the list go on. That's why you will see someone going to an office with a heavy bag. You think that there is something inside or there is a useful thing inside. You don't know that it is full of chargers. And when the person is working, even aside the chargers, you find that the person also goes with cords, and to make matters worse, he also goes with the extension sockets. And when you get to a hall like this, you find that people always look for an outlet way to plug, to sit close to that particular outlet. And I actually observed it when people were coming in. And what is the current solution? The current solution is actually people now solve their problem using a USB hub. So where they can put one or two devices on that hub, and also a wallet that you can place your smart device on top. Our solution is a wireless-based platform that enables users to charge their mobile devices cordless and effortless. How does this solution work? The charger is actually the transmitter. So you plug the charger at the power source. The charger is responsible for transmitting this electrical power from that power source to your phone. So for a phone that doesn't support wireless charging currently, or there is a receiver that will be attached. So some future phones already have this inbuilt. What is the opportunity? According to Jumia, by 2020, there will be 720 million devices, smartphones in Africa. And according to Statista, there will be 23.3 million mobile users in Nigeria. Some people will be saying currently that this solution already exists. Samsung and iPhone already have this solution. So how are we different from these people? Samsung and iPhone are only contact-based. You have to place the device on charge for it to start charging. And because we are targeting a local market, Nigeria and Africa, we are working to incorporate rechargeable feature into this particular charger, so that when there's power breakage, phone stay charged. If there's power, it's charged and comfortably. Also, trying to capture a typical office space, so that a single charger can power a couple of devices simultaneously instead of powering just one device. Our business model is simple. We sell the products directly to the user. So we are seeking $50,000 US for the use for research and development, team expansion, marketing, and product standardization and licensing. So far, we have built an alpha prototype, which we test during the product show. Currently, by June, we will finish our beta prototype and test it across some users. And by August, we'll finish our MVP, and towards October, we'll mass produce and launch and grow our user base. Here I'm my team member. We are from the University of Nigeria and Nsukka. So we are all a student there, and that is my business developer. The future is wireless. Join smart electricity so that we can be part of this future. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, hi. Thanks for your presentation, but I was expecting to see what it looks like. Is there a picture or?
Okay, a picture?
Yes.
That will be a mini demo.
During the exhibition?
Yes.
Okay.
So during that time, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like.
What do you expect? Okay, I know you've not done the full thing yet, but what do you expect to be the cost of this device?
Okay, currently we have not determined that yet. Okay. So we are still on that. So okay.
What if it costs more than all the chargers and everything combined?
Okay, the charger and the device.
I mean, it's already part of your R&D, right?
Yes.
The cost projection.
Okay, no, not yet. So, but we tend to be as minimum as so that single users actually acquire this and make use of it. Okay. If you want me to say something, our target is 3,500. 8,500 for a particular device. No, naira. Yes.
Okay, so I'm interested in how long will it take for the wireless charger to charge a phone? So take for instance, if I'm at 0%, what's the time frame? I don't want a charger that it will take me almost 8 hours to get me to 50% because it's wireless. So have you tried that?
Yes, we have not tried that, though our alpha prototype take longer time to add a bar, but we have to improve that and to make it a fast charger.
Okay, great presentation. What have you figured out that Apple and Samsung don't know?
Sorry?
What's the main thing that you think you've identified that Apple and Samsung haven't figured out?
Okay, Apple and Samsung, their mode of charging is contact-based, such that you have a single phone placed on a charging pad, and charge only that phone. But another approach they use is to make the pads longer so that it can accommodate more number of phones. But what we are trying to do is actually the charger will be in form of a wireless router, a kind of single device that will actually transmit to other device. So it doesn't occupy more space. So for you to power more device, you don't increase the size of the charger. I don't know if you understand. Okay, is the technology approach, is the technology they are using. So they're actually using inductive technology.
Okay, I'm very interested in this project personally.
Yeah.
So this is totally novel, or is there a technology that exists that supports this, or is this an improvement to an existing technology? Give us some background into the technology that allows electricity to move without contact.
Okay. It's an existing technology. Actually, the technology which I was to answer him is that Samsung is using is actually inductive technology. That is electromagnetic induction, such that one side and the other side. So I don't want to go into that. So that's electromagnetic induction. Then another technology which is more that will work like the internet wireless we know is actually the radio frequency, using radio frequency. So instead of electromagnetic induction you need to have much contact. But using radio frequency, so you don't need such contact. All you need to do is just to harvest that energy and reconvert it back to electricity and you charge the phone. So
so have you thought of working with OEMs like Infinix and then the rest of the companies to provide your solution, like build a custom solution for them, like providing these services for like OEMs specifically against trying to get into the market yourself?
Yes, I thought of that, like working with OEMs so that we can incorporate especially the receivers into their product directly, so that users can now just go and get the charger. They don't need to think of the receiver.
My one is to say well done. Even though you have an existing competition locally here, I think there was a guy from Bauchi doing the same thing.
Okay.
And in fact, he participated in the GITEX last year, I think. So it's exactly similar solution, which means you need to look around and probably add some little features on yours.
Okay.
Yeah, so that make it distinct.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up, we have Plantios.
Hello everyone, I'm Faith, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Plantios. Africa is believed to be the food basket of the world, but yet we are performing below this expectation, and this is due to the amount of crops we lose to pests and diseases. Take for instance, Chooks, a farmer, is expecting to make a lot of profits from his farm produce, but on getting to his farm, he noticed that he lost close to half of his farm produce to pests and disease, and is left with nothing to do about. This was due to the fact that he has little knowledge about the type of disease and the treatment to be used. Also, Favor, an extension officer, finds it difficult to detect crop diseases on time. They are left with two alternatives. Is either they use the plant pathologist, which usually takes 1 to 7 days for them to diagnose the disease, or they use their guesswork, which usually can cause more havoc to the farm. But with our solutions, Chooks and Favor can easily run real-time diagnosis on their farm produce, and also get information on the treatments we use for the diseases on their farm produce. Also, we have a community of experts, which includes plant pathologists, who will give farmers and agri-extension information necessary to help improve their crop yield and also help improve their livelihood. Why now? As the world population is increasing, there's actually need to increase effort in areas of food security. And one way of doing that is by tackling the issue of crop and pest disease. Also, a few years back, farmers always use old method of cultivation, which makes them have little or no yield. But with the advent of technology, farmers can farm smart with more results to show for it. Also, the advent of technology has made available tools that can help in data collection and also help our mobile devices increase, and also help increase the computational power of our mobile devices. how plant sales work. You download and launch the app, then you use the app to acquire image of any disease part of the crop. Then the app analyzes the image, then it gives you information on the treatment and how it gives you information about the disease and the treatment to be used. Our target customers are farmers, agri-extension officers, research institutes such as faculties of agriculture universities, and also agri-research institutes. What differentiates us from others is our offline diagnosis and also local language such as Pidgin English and Yoruba and French we had on our platform. Our business model, basically we plan to make money by bringing in agrochemicals, recommended agrochemicals into our platform. I'll be charging them monthly. Also, we intend to help farmers sell their farm produce. I'll be charging them 7% commission on each product we help sell for them. So far, we've been able to collaborate with Screen. And also, presently, we are working on finalizing our collaboration with IIT. For our product development, we have close to 3,000 high-resolution image of black pod disease and myrid. And our alpha prototype is out, which is on cocoa. And currently, we are working on a beta prototype, which will be deployed for early adopters to use. Our next plan. We seek to collaborate with more agri-extension officers so as to be able to expand to other crops. We plan to also collect more data, annotate, train our model, iterate through our customers' feedback, and also we plan to have 300 active users by the end of this year. We seek $50,000 US in grants, collaboration, and sponsorship to be able to expand to more crops, to be able to develop, finalize our product development, and also to be able to expand our team. Our team is comprised of people with technical expertise and skills. I'm Faith. I studied mycology and fungi biotechnology in UI. Hewa is our AI developer. Steven is the Android developer. Victor is one handling our content development for our blog. With Plantios, farming is made smarter. And our mission is to make agriculture, our mission is to help agriculture to be personalized for individual farmers so as to help in their local language, so as to help improve crop yield and their livelihood. Thank you so much. I would like to invite AY so he can join me along while we take your questions. Thanks so much.
Hi. So I wanted to ask, who exactly is going to use the product, and who is going to pay for the product?
Our product is totally free. That's why we have a platform where recommended agrochemicals can come on board to advertise their chemicals for the farmers to use. Then we are targeting farmers, agri-extension officers, and farmers, actually, most farmers have educated children around them, so their children can assist them with the crop disease diagnosis. And apart from them having educated children, farmers have farmers association, where their head of farmers association at times are educated. The farmer association head can also help assist farmers too with the diagnosis. Okay, back to what I said previously. I talked about their children. Most farmers have educated children that use smartphones. So through their children, through the head of farmer cooperative, through agri-extension officers too, who goes to the farm.
And also to add to that, as against popular belief, I've worked with some farmers in Ondo State, and about 60 to 70% of them actually have smartphones. Even though they do majorly WhatsApp on it, but at least they are really coming up.
All right.
Okay, you talked about the online agri shop.
Yes.
Where would that be located?
It will be on our website.
Okay, on the website. So
Yes.
everybody-
Yes, but we'll provide the link to the agri shop on the hub. There'll be a link provided on the hub.
Quick question. Is it an AI solution that is analyzing the pictures, the images, or is there a network of, or at least even if you have an AI solution that is analyzing the pictures, you still need, I can imagine, actual experts to review.
Yeah, sure. So basically it's AI. So you send the picture to it, it tells you what disease you have on your farm. And also we have a community where we've been able to partner with Cocoa Research Institute and also trying to partner with IIT such that they have their pathologists on the platform. So there are going to be cases where pictures sent, the AI is not able to run diagnostics in them, definitely, at the start. So we are planning to have these folks on the platform so that they can provide information. Okay, so basically for Crane right now, the whole point for them is excitement because Crane is government owned, and when we told them about the solution, they were so excited about it, so it's not really said anything concerning that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for
Thanks.
Next up is Kanji Roy.
Okay. Hello everybody. Hello everybody. I'm Irene Oluwaseun, a co-founder of Country Drive, a virtual reality driving simulator. Meet Mr. Dalabola. He owns a driving school. So currently in Lagos, driving schools only use cars to train drivers. So this guy wants to expand to make more profits. He wants to train truck drivers. To do this, he has to buy a truck. He also has to rent space to park a truck, and this is more money for him. This is Akin, a recent graduate. So his parents have a spare car at home, and he wants to drive. But due to the hullabaloo of driving in Lagos, he's scared of having an accident that might not necessarily be his fault, but meaning he'll have to repair damages to the car. And if he goes to a driving school and he also damages the car, he also has to pay. This is Mr. Gbenga. He owns a transit system and means he cargoes things, he hauls things to one point from another. The guy is scared of hiring drivers that just come and say, oh, I have a trucking license and I can drive a truck. Because, quick story. So during this project, I interviewed a couple of truck drivers and I asked how they got their licenses, and he said basically he just applies at the licensing office and he gets his truck. So I'm assuming they just psychologically profile them and say, oh, this guy looks like he's a truck driver. Because they really don't have any tests to check if you can actually drive these trucks. They don't even have space to park trucks at the licensing office to test your capabilities. So the status quo for teaching how to drive are these systems where you use this kind of vehicles to learn how to drive. And the skills you get from this, you're meant to upscale it to drive your SUVs, your semi-delivery trucks, those pure water truck delivery systems, your cargo trucks, freight trucks, 30-foot trucks. So as I was stating in Akin's part, there's mental constraint on some learners' part. I know personally, a person doesn't want to learn how to drive because he's really scared about just being behind the wheel, doesn't want any accidents. He values his life. So at Candy Drive, we are developing a virtual reality simulator that teaches users how to drive and also evaluates the skill level of drivers. How does it work? We're developing a software 3D interactive view of Lagos State, since we reside in Lagos State, which will have all the functionalities of driving in Lagos. So you have your reckless downfoot drivers, your Okada drivers, keke napep, dragging the road with you, double parking on the lane, all the many. Uses VR hardware, that's the HTC Vive or the Oculus Go, and driving control. So you have the steering rig, the pedals, like an actual car. Why virtual reality? So virtual reality is currently the best method to train cognitive skills muscle memory, and the likes. Because basically in virtual reality, you're exported to a virtual space where you are allowed to make as many mistakes as possible without the real life implications. So experiential learning, like my co-colleagues have said earlier. According to the CEO of Vivo, which is the leading virtual or XR company in the world, it says virtual reality is currently the most suited to train cognitive skills. Benefit of this kind of training system, flexible training conditions, meaning I could program, I have control over my training, so the traffic, weather, lighting, okay, let's say weather. Same system could be used for multiple vehicles, so meaning the same system, I can use it to train you on a sedan, I can use it to train you on a truck, I can use it to train you on an SUV, sorry. Programmable emerging institutions. So let's take this scenario. If I wanted to check the response time to my driver when a child runs onto the road, I could easily program that in virtual reality. But in real life, I can't check how you react if a child runs onto the road. So I can check or track your response time to certain conditions, which are easily programmable using this system. Safety. So virtual reality offers you the ability to have as real as possible situations without the existing consequences, like I earlier said. Business model works on subscription. So we're developing the software, so we're going to release it to driving schools, like the target industry, arcades. The FRSC can use it as a licensing system to check out your skill level, like I said. It can be used to evaluate your driving skills. A logistic company, cargo company, corporate organization. So we're currently looking for $25,000 to work on our marketing, hire personnel, properly develop the software to a higher standard, and hardware acquisition. I am Ayeni Oluwaseun, co-founder of Candy Drive, architect, 3D artist, and my co-founder is also a 3D artist and a game developer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. A comment and maybe like a question, I don't really know. For training and testing, yes, I think VR is good. For actual simulation, because like the whole thing about driving is you actually, the reason why you have driving tests,
yeah.
You have to actually drive a physical car, is to know how you actually react when when you're doing that. I do not know if VR simulations that don't move you around, that's just where you're just actually looking at a screen, if legally, they'll be accepted as, with that. But things like, when you're talking about using the AI for Dangote, for instance, if I want to do this kind of thing to keep verifying that my drivers are still, like for pilots now, they are, you must go to a simulator after a while. I think for that, this is actually a very, very great solution. But for first-time people, I don't know if this works. Can you enlighten me more?
Okay. So I'll say you answered your question when you said plane simulators, because basically, I don't know the name, but I know fighter jets, F something, they cost like $1 billion, and they do not want you to crash these planes because it's really expensive. So what they do is that they train in a simulator. Simulators have like inexpensive ways of training you in things that would be otherwise expensive or costly to lives.
No, but those simulators actually, because I did a lot of flight training myself.
Okay.
Because I haven't gotten the guts to actually go up there. They actually feel, like you're flying because they move you around. They do a lot of those things. Okay, but if it's just a screen, I'm looking at.
Okay, it's not just a screen; it's virtual reality.
Even if
yeah, there's a rig, like actual car controls, the steering, the pedals.
Okay, so actually,
like a car.
Does it bump me? Nigerian roads. If I enter a pothole, do I have that feeling and all of that?
So
sorry, how's that feedback?
Like if you crash into a wall, it's a vibrator and you feel it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I like to. Do you have a model here we can test?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to test run it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
If there are no questions, we'll come to the last of the 15 pitches that will be hearing today. So please, with the round of applause, please let us give it a round of applause.
Come in. Inside.
Hello everyone. My name is Salisu Zubairu Gaya. I'm a founder at SAPIS. Today in Nigeria, people are being killed almost every day. We have a lot of problems ranging from Boko Haram in the northeast, armed bandits in Zamfara, herders farmers clashes in the middle belt, and people are being kidnapped every day. One thing that's happened is that social media is being used as a tool to foil these conflicts. So what's going to happen? We at SAPIS, we use artificial intelligence to develop a system which monitors hate speech on social media in real time in order to predict possible occurrence of violence. Our solution comes with a Twitter AI bot and a web platform. We've currently launched the Twitter AI bot, which users can use to report hate speech in real time. Using our AI bot, users will be able to monitor hate speech in real time, and also they will be able to monitor how conversations goes around, setting keywords and hashtags on social media. With this platform, the platform can be able to block public, when a user tweets with a negative comment on your Twitter account, the system will be able to block that user automatically without you knowing, even before anyone sees it. The system is very, very easy to use. You simply sign up to the system, and after signing up, you will need to set your APIs in order to connect SAPIS with your Twitter account. After connecting, you will create keywords which you will want to monitor for hate speech, and then we will have access to real-time analysis of hate speech on social media. Our target customers will be law enforcement agencies, also NGOs, research organizations which are interested in combating hate speech can also use our platform to make their work more easier. Businesses and social media platforms can also use our solution in order to moderate conversations around their social media handles. We run a subscription-based model, $29 to $59 per month. We have an enterprise option for law enforcement agencies in which they will request for an account and we verify and approve for them. We seek for $50,000 in order to expand our team, do a lot of customer support, marketing, and the rest. Currently, we have launched our application. It's online. We have a beta version of the application. We are working on acquiring users to use this application and getting feedback from the users. After then, we will try to optimize the application based on the feedback we get from our users. If launch on Twitter, we will see how to scale this platform to other social media handles like Facebook and the rest. This is the team behind SAPIS. We are from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. We have experience in programming and artificial intelligence. Please join SAPIS to cleanse the social media of hate speech. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Great job, you guys. It's awesome. My question is, first of all, how do you track sarcastic hate speech, right? So it doesn't come directly, so it doesn't read the keywords directly, but it's in the form of sarcasm. And also, I'm not so sure about the monetization model. Why should, I mean, I don't want hate speech, but why should I sign up to an app to stop hate speech? Or connect my Twitter account to it? What's the motivation for me, the user?
Okay, we gathered a lot of training data from Twitter to train our application in order for it to be able to detect hate speech. We have currently 70% accuracy. The system works based on our algorithms, based on the training data we've supplied. 70% is not bad, but we still need to have some improvement by getting more data to train the model. Actually, tracking sarcasm is very, very difficult. That is the biggest challenge. Sometimes, not even sarcasm, sometimes it's very, very difficult to actually know whether somebody is describing what actually happened or pushing a hate speech. So that is another challenge we have, and with a lot of training data, we hope that that will be minimized.
Any other questions?
So thank you very much. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much.
Please, can you give the startups another round of applause? It's taken months and months and hours of work and feedback and reiteration to get to where they are today. And just to see the kind of progress they've made over the last 6 months makes me excited for the kind of progress that they will make over the next 1, 2, 3 years. And I can't wait to see that happen personally. When you do a good thing, generally, so Igbo people will have a saying, if you thank God for something he's done, he does more things, right? When you do a good thing and you see the kind of impact that it raises, you get inspired to do more. So as we are ending the chapter on today's, on this program, and this accelerator program, this cohort, the journey doesn't stop here. But first, I want to do 2 different things. One is, I want to highlight that even though everybody's in the room today, the people in the room here are from different parts of Nigeria, right? To get the 15 teams that we work with, we went around the country, we went to 13 different cities, talking to people about deep tech, asking for opinions, asking for solutions, and that's how we got here today. This was made possible due to the tight collaboration and partnership that we are privileged to enjoy with hubs across the country. So I just want to give a thank you to the 7 hubs that traveled down to be here today. Collab, Pensarua, Start Innovation Hub, from like, it's always amazing because these guys always show up when I want them to, when I need them to. But also to, our aim on a broader sense is to be able to have more quality startups in the ecosystem, right? Sometimes it will be deep tech, sometimes it won't. And just to see how much we can support, and to do that at scale, we do it through the partners that we have, right? Because they have a wider community than we do. So one of the programs that we ran recently, as kind of different things, as a pipeline to the accelerator program, as a way to just increase the quality of just the bar of startups generally nationwide, was the incubation program we ran through the satellite hubs. It was an 8-week program where people and entrepreneurs with brilliant ideas that were stuck at ideation stage were giving the mentorship and the support and the training to actually have a solid business foundation, because Nigeria has a very, very short lifespan when it comes to startups, just because people with brilliant ideas generally don't know what to do with them. And so just to give them that kind of support. And we feel like increasing the bar of quality just generally means that we have even more, like we can double the number of people we have sitting here talking to us today about their solutions. In the interest of time, we can't go through, I would like typically for a startup from every hub to be able to come talk to us about what they're working on. But I know you guys are going to hate me, but we can't do that. So I'm just going to call randomly 4 different hubs. Just come talk real quick, 60 to 90 seconds about what they're working on and what problem they're solving. I'm going to start with Ventures Platform, because you know I would. Please put your hands together for 513, the startup. So just a quick, what you're working on and why.
So my name is Doshima Okonkwo. I'm the founder of 513 Special. It's a one-stop stop for persons living with special needs and disabilities. We provide products and solutions that help them with daily living and learning so that they're able to succeed. Why? Because I'm a mom. I have a special needs child. That's what's influenced my reason for doing this. And also because raising a child here with the challenges that you face in finding such solutions is actually a challenge. I don't know if many of us know, but Mark Zuckerberg himself is colorblind. And he's able to become this person today because of the opportunities that he has. He's basically able to see mostly blue. That's why Facebook is blue. So we are here to be able, that's what we want to see. We want to be able to have those kinds of solutions for that are unique here with the unique characteristics we have so that these individuals are successful. One thing that we're working on with the hub in Abuja is leveraging on simple technology to improve everyday things. One thing that is right now on board is we're trying to look at some simple thing for the blind that's able to enable this blind person function, be independent without that support that they have, but be able to move. GPS, things like that. But that's one thing that we're currently looking at. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you suffered from any form of disability or you have a friend, child, partner that has, you understand just how important the work they're doing is. And because we just generally don't have the infrastructure that supports these people, we need to support startups that do and organizations that do. Thank you so much. Next, I want to call on Renewal Air from Royal Hub. Please put your hands together.
I've been waiting so long to come and pitch, honestly. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Okoro Arinze. Ronil Air builds multi-purpose hybrid drones for agriculture, surveillance, and advertisement. What problem do we solve? Please let us start with some statistics. It has been shown that 125 million people in 50 countries suffer from hunger and food crisis, reported by the Food World Program in 2018. This states that there is shortage in food supply in the world. And it gives us a duty to make sure that we provide methods to food production in agriculture. And we will do so by using these multi-purpose hybrid drones for agricultural crop spraying, for aerial advertisement against crimes and foreign objects in the farm, and for field mapping for precision agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would have been very remiss not to let him come speak for two reasons. One is I read your profile and I really wanted to actually hear you talk about it. And two is he has been literally waiting to pitch all day and rehearsing a picture runner. It's just amazing. Next, I want to call on the startup from DI Hub. Please put your hands together.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nafisa Isa Mohammed, founder of MedWaste Solutions. We provide waste management services to healthcare centers. Why the niche medical waste management industry? It all started 6 months ago when I went to visit our former errand boy, Bello. He happened to get an infection from scavenging in dump sites where medical waste were being disposed of. His infection was so gross that it had grown into a cancer-like open wound, an infection that led to his death in no time. May his soul rest in peace. I then thought to myself, what if there is a better way to handle medical waste before being disposed? What if we were to be the solution to the problems posed by medical waste? Problems like air pollution from open burning, infections from scavenging, landfills leaching, littering, and overflowing of waste bins. We at MedWaste, we are into designing an IoT-enabled sensor that detects the field level of waste in a waste bin, and also it detects pathogens in a waste bin. Our first design is already out, waiting in line for complete packaging and production. And our futuristic plan for this industry is to be able to design a waste bin, a smart IoT-enabled waste bin that treats, disinfects, and shred waste all on site for either recycling or waste conversion. The industry represents a huge opportunity for investors to create green wealth and save lives by creating an eco-friendly system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And finally, the startup from Manhub.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judea Jang. Bara. Bara is a Hebrew word that means create, to create. Bara wants to create wealth through savings. Bara is an online community that allows individuals to come in, register digital accounts where they are able to save as little as 100 naira. Now we live in a society where people have very poor habits of saving, and that makes it very difficult for people to start businesses or to even invest. I have had my own share of the struggles over the years in these kind of situations where bad habits of saving deter us from starting businesses. Now, Bara is how we want to, why Bara is coming in is because people are of the opinion that they don't have money. But the truth is, out of every big chunk, there's that little bit. In 1,000 naira, we have 100 nairas. In 100 naira, we have 10 nairas. Imagine a situation where you have a platform where you can save a 10 naira out of 100 naira that you can access on a daily basis, or a platform where you can save 100 naira where you can access 1,000 on a daily basis. Now, that will allow you to save to a period of time where, after having saved an amount that can enable you to start up a business that can actually take off. So Bara is looking towards eradicating poverty, which is her major objective. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a shout out to Start Innovation Collab, KSI@W. I would don't look at me like that. But the thing is, we have startups all over the country doing things around fintech, education, agriculture, health, and I feel like it's our responsibility as investors, as corporate bodies, to invest and to support this startups in every way we can. And so it is with a lot of joy and just pride in my heart that actually I should call Dami up for this as well, because this is not possible without. Why are you standing there? And Francis, come up. Because like everything we do, we believe strongly in collaboration at Facebook, and everything we do with a partner or with partners. And one of the programs that we're running with CC Hub, the one that we just concluded the demo day of, we are launching another accelerator program. That Dami is now going to talk about.
We're going to do the same thing with the road shows, but also getting students as well as startups, and essentially doing the same, investments with grants and giving them the business support, taking the learnings from the first one and even making this better as well with the mentorship, the industry advisors. So in another few months, I think July or so, we'll probably be launching the new cohort, but applications will be open on Monday. So once it's Monday, you can tell startups, students, and then we'll start the roadshows, but applications will open on Monday.
It's important to know that we're doing this, again, in collaboration with the hubs that we partner with across the country, because we need the communities that are wider than we have access to, as well as the startups in those communities. So we look forward to coming to the cities that you're in, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dami and Kendra. And with that, we come to the end of today's program. From Facebook and CC Hub and all of the amazing founders who have spent the past 6 months building amazing solutions. I think generally the quality of the feedback from all the teams is really high. And it shows that something that we weren't so sure what the possibilities were a couple of months ago. All of these guys that have come here on able to present today have shown that it is possible. And then when we take the stories of these 15 teams and all the other teams doing amazing things, you need to put that out in the media. You cannot imagine the amount of inspiration that can give to thousands and millions of youths around the country to build solutions, not just to local problems, but also global problems. Thank you so much for coming. As I mentioned earlier, there's a mini exhibition afterwards. The founders after now would go to their different designations. Each room has a sector, it has been categorized based on sectors. So on the very first floor, we have the artificial intelligence and security startups, and there you would find Trinity Guard, DeepQuest AI, Insight, and SAPIS. Upstairs, just right above this room, we have the mobility and transport startups. In there, you would see Lara, you would see Cycles, you would see UpNepa, and you would see Smart Electricity. And to the right, just opposite that, you would see VetArc, Trep Labs, Plantios, and Grid in that room. And lastly, for the awesome VR experiences, you will go to the third floor, and there you would see Project Move, Candy Drive, and Quadron XR. There's also lunch. Lunch is served. Lunch is actually getting cold, so please go for lunch first before you go for the exhibition. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. Lunch is on the 4th floor, the cafeteria. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to come here today. We are super excited to be here, and we look forward to the next demo day later in the year or early next year. Thank you.